Hello, Five Reasons friends. It's playoffs baseball. We heard it in the ABC broadcast. How are you guys? Welcome to Marlins live report. I don't know how to call this live commentary with Christian Chase and David Fernandez. We're going to be having fun watching the second game of the wild card series against the Chicago Cubs today. Of course, now we have the lineups today. Your Darvish is pitching. I promise you. I said that on Thursday. I said that it was going to happen on Friday. Now we are sure that it's going to happen today. On Wednesday, I thought it was going to happen on Thursday, and now it's going to happen on Friday. Yesterday, some sort of a weird weather delay. I don't know what happened there. Maybe the TV times have something to do with it. But now we're back. We're here, and we're ready for game 2 of the series. How do you guys feel? Welcome back.
Good, man. Happy to be back. I mean, listen, the inclement weather that was supposed to be in Chicago is down here in Miami. I mean, it is storming here outside my house. My dogs are freaking out. You know, it's a little crazy down here. Didn't look like it was particularly bad weather up in Chicago. You know, hopefully the Marlins can keep their momentum going, and really the big thing here is, you know, hopefully Sixto can rediscover that form that he had in his first 5 starts or so, you know. So that's what I'm looking forward to watching the most today.
Yeah, same. I think it's super important Sixto kind of gets out there, finds that groove where he's missing out of the zone. I noticed in the first 5 starts, you know, when he missed out. And in that national start, he missed in a lot, and that allowed all the hits. Hopefully he can find that effective wildness again today and utilize his really good stuff to his advantage. It's going to be a fun matchup today. I mean, it's going to be very similar to what we saw in game 1, where it's probably going to be a pitching battle. We got Darvish on the mound, who historically hasn't been, you know, the best postseason pitcher of all time, even though he is one of the better pitchers in the league today. Probably going to be second or third in the NL Cy Young voting to just probably Trevor Bauer at this point. He put up an amazing year. What was Darvish looking like this year? It was a 2.01 ERA, 8-3 record. The guy can pitch, which is going to be fun to see. It's just going to be an enjoyable game for people who like good pitching, and I'm a pitching fan, so I'm going to enjoy myself.
Yeah, I mean, one of the fun things here is obviously you have a veteran in Darvish, right? Who's he has postseason experience. I mean, that whole Cubs lineup has postseason experience, right? But he's going up against Sixto Sanchez, who is literally the youngest player in Marlins history to make his MLB, like his postseason debut as a starter. You know, he's 22 years old. Yeah, he's 22 years old, and he's taking the hill here. I mean, he was dominant in his first 5 starts, right? He had a 1.69 ERA. He had 29 strikeouts and 5 walks, you know, through his first 5 starts, about 32 innings pitched. In his last 2 starts, though, you know, he allowed 9 runs in 7 innings. That works out to an 11.57 ERA. Not great. 6 walks over that span, just 4 strikeouts. Like you were saying, he was missing, but he was missing in the zone, you know. So you worry a little bit about, you know, his regression, I guess, a little bit in his last couple starts. You know, he's had several days to sort of prepare and to game plan for this Cubs lineup. I mean, it's not what it was in 2016, number one. And right. Number 2, it's not the Braves or the Yankees or anything like that. You know, so ideally he can find his groove here and really get going. One of the things that the Cubs were saying, though, they were using their extra day to watch film specifically on Sixto, right? So you worry a little bit about, you know, some of these veteran hitters picking up on something, you know. Hopefully Sixto wasn't like tipping his pitches. They haven't really talked anything about that, but Trevor Rogers was. Right. You know, the Marlins were able to find that and fix that, you know. So hopefully Sixto can regain his form here. But if he doesn't, he's not in that game for very long.
No, it'll be a quick outing if he does not regain that form.
Sure. I was out. The storm got to my internet, but I'm back here, so don't worry. Yes, and I have a surprise for you guys because we have another guest. But let's check the lineups before we introduce our new friend from 5 Reasons who's going to be joining us today. The Cubs are going with Ian Happ, Anthony Rizzo, Wilson Contreras. Schwarber is going to be in left field. We have to hit the ball to left field. Chris Bryan, Jason Hayward, Javi Baez, Bodie today in the lineup. Caratini is going to be catching, and Yu Darvish is going to be the starting pitcher. For the Marlins, we have Corey Dickerson, John Berry, Jesus Aguilar, Brian Anderson, Gary Cooper, Matt Joyce, Miguel Rojas, Magneuris Sierra, and Chad Wallach. So same lineup that he was posted yesterday. So no Starling Marte to begin in the lineup for this Friday matchup. And we want to welcome our friend Ryan Lasner, who's also going to join us here in the party. So what do you think, Ryan? How do you feel about the Marlins? Let me see that jersey that you're wearing right now.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Oh, wow. There you go.
I've had this. How's my audio right now?
Good. You're good.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I've had this jersey. It's like a hand-me-down since I was a kid. Marlins fan for life, but so exciting. Postseason baseball is back. We all know about the winning percentage. But ultimately today, if you win, you move on. How exciting what else can you ask for? So, I mean, we want to play the Braves, and we're going to get them, and they look good.
They look great.
Yeah.
But you know what? This franchise has met the Braves in the postseason before, and they've dealt with them. So it's it would line up with the '97 run at the very least.
Exactly. Freddie Freeman is on a tear. They're saying MVP. We lost our best offensive threat. Hopefully not too long. What's the word on Marte? He can't hit, right? He can play outfield and pinch run.
Yeah, he's still on the roster. They didn't make any roster moves or anything like that, so they didn't move him to the injured list. He is technically still available, and Mattingly is talking about maybe using him situationally, right? So he probably won't get a pinch hit appearance, but he could definitely pinch run. You might even see him in the outfield, although defensively I think we're okay. I mean, he's a good defender, but with Monte Harrison, Brinson, Sierra, there's not too much of a drop-off defensively from Marte. I mean, maybe from Marte to Sierra, it's more of a drop. But if he needs a defensive upgrade, he could always go to Harrison or Brinson out there. But he's still there. He's still on the roster. Hopefully they get him wrapped up and he can get back into the lineup regularly. That's another reason why the Marlins want to get this win here. So maybe he gets an extra day or two to prepare for the next series for sure.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so we're ready. Hey guys, please, if you're joining, make sure you send us your comments and everything. We're going to be reading all of that. We are watching right now the hit by pitch by Marte. It was pretty bad. That zone is pretty dangerous.
It looked like it hurt a lot, man.
Yeah,
I remember.
Yeah, I got injured when I was playing in college. I dove in home plate and I hit the catcher and I broke two of these little bones right here, and it takes like 2 months to recover. So hopefully that's not the case, and Marte can be available to actually do something during the series. So the game's about to start. Ryan, what we do here, we're not doing play-by-play. We just we're having fun. I don't know who's first today. I don't know who's first today. The other day was Christian, and then David, and then I was watching the play like 30 seconds after that. So we'll see what happens. What do you guys are watching right now in your screens?
I've got Darvish.
Oh, go ahead, David.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've got Darvish prepping to throw the first pitch.
I just had the first pitch thrown, so I might be a little ahead again.
There you go. And what about Ryan?
I'm actually trying to get it streaming on my laptop. So bear with me.
Okay.
Oh, you can't hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I'm about to stream it. I jumped to get here pretty quick.
Yeah, it's cutting out a little bit. I don't know.
Darvish is casually top 5 in the MLB in ERA, strikeout rate, WHIP,
I don't know,
and every other stat. So it's gonna be a fun game.
Yeah, I mean he's a great pitcher, no doubt about it. I mean the one thing that you hope for is that his postseason struggles. Maybe those make an appearance here today for the Marlins. I mean,
he's had some good outings in the postseason, though.
Yeah, he has. one of the things I want to mention, Ryan had mentioned how the Marlins have never lost the postseason series. That as a franchise, the Marlins are 6-1 in closeout games. Their only loss was in '97 in Game 6 against the Indians, but obviously they won in Game 7. So they're 6-1 in closeout games. So hopefully that continues here today. That momentum continues.
All we have to do is be up in the 6th inning because we're, as you said, 30-0 after 6 when we're up. So
yeah, man.
Basically, we win in 6, we win the game.
Yeah.
It's going to be an interesting wrinkle having Mags Sierra in the game because he's pure speed, but he has had success and then he got injured. So let's see if he can maintain that momentum he had formerly before he got replaced due to injury.
Yeah, it was an interesting choice for Mattingly, right? I mean, he had a couple options. He could have gone with Lewis Brinson, who's pretty good in over the last 30 games or so. But typically Brinson will play against left-handed pitchers, right? And Darvish is obviously a righty. So to go with Sierra, who hasn't played a whole lot over the last couple weeks because of his injury, but he brings that speed dynamic, and if they can get on base, that's definitely something that the Marlins can exploit. I mean, we saw it in Game 1. John Birdie was running all over the place, and now we have Birdie and Sierra in the lineup. So all that speed is something that the Marlins could really, really capitalize on. Hopefully they can get on base, though.
Yeah. Speaking of, so in Game 1, obviously Corey Dickerson bailed us out, and then Aguilar. But I feel like there was a couple opportunities. You have a guy on second base, and you really think they should drop that bunt down. There's no outs, although they had Brian Anderson and then Aguilar in the other chance. But they couldn't capitalize on a guy on second with no outs, and that hopefully in this game they kind of change their approach and they value every run possible, just to give enough padding for Sixto.
Yeah, you worry about that, right? I mean, we've seen the offense go dormant from time to time and not be able to move runners over and not have productive outs and things like that, and that's something that we certainly saw through the first 6 innings in Game 1, right? And they had their opportunities. They had runners in scoring position in a few different spots, and they weren't able to push anything through. Right. And you're right. Corey Dickerson absolutely bailed them out the other day with his 3-run homer, and that's not something that this team typically does. They don't live by the 3-run homer. They, they play small ball, right? They move guys where they're supposed to play small ball, right? Moving guys over, guys in, So it's definitely not in the game plan to just wait for somebody to hit a 3-run bomb, But I mean, they've got guys that can do it. I mean, hopefully though they can get on base and use that speed. Ooh.
I'm sorry if my audio is in there.
Colorful personality. He keeps the mood light.
Yeah. It's cold out there. Hopefully that doesn't affect Sixto. I wonder if Sixto's ever pitched in that kind of setting. It's 52 degrees.
Oh, you know what? Maybe he hasn't. Yeah.
You wonder. You wonder a little bit about that stuff. I mean, Darvish obviously being in Chicago for the last couple of years, and he probably has, but that's one of the bonuses of having the climate controlled Marlins Park, right? We would have played yesterday, number 1, and it's not going to be freezing cold, number 2, or super hot, I guess.
Jesus Aguilar makes solid contact, but flies out to center. I mean, not the best inning you want to see versus Darvish. It's not really even putting up runs early. We just want to see his pitch count get up there, again, get to the bullpen as fast as possible. And I think he pitched 12 in the first, which, I mean, that puts him on pace to go a full 9, which is not what we want to see.
Yeah, I'm just seeing the Aguilar fly out right now. Not really. I mean,
what about now?
There you are. Before you were like a little whisper in the background.
What about now?
Yeah, you sound good now.
All right, perfect. All right, so yeah, like you said, Christian, that's 12 pitch inning is ideal for the Cubs, but naturally, he's gonna mess up in the next couple of innings. You would hope. And Darvish, although he's having a good year this year, if you check back, his ERA was pretty high the past couple of years. So for him to regain form, for me, it seems I don't know. I don't trust it so much. I think he could give up easily 6 runs. He's had trouble when he was with the Rangers and early on with the Cubs. He hasn't always been their best pitcher, and I don't know. I guess he's considered a number 2, but I don't know. I think he peaked already. Is kind of what I mean to say.
I get that. I feel like he's definitely a 1, though. I think they started Hendricks because of his experience for the Cubs.
Okay.
I think Darvish is a 1. He was coming off that injury. He got injured in like 16, I think. And that kind of screwed with his arm. I think this year is him getting back to normal shape. I could be wrong, though. That's just what I've seen out of Darvish.
Right. I mean, he has been this season. He's been solid.
Lights out.
But in the past, although he was signed to be their main guy, he hasn't really he hasn't earned the paycheck, I would say.
Right. Yeah.
But
not up
they're
to
in the playoffs. They're in the playoffs, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they won the division, and their division ultimately had 4 playoff teams themselves and 3 others, right? Everybody seemed to beat up on the Pirates, so I guess that kind of inflated their record a little bit. They weren't great in the second half of the year, but again, Darvish was really, really good this season. So it's going to be a matter for the Marlins, for the hitters, to make him work. You saw them eventually get to Hendricks that way, right? They were making Hendricks work. They were making Hendricks make his pitches, right? We saw them. They got 3 walks and a hit by pitch from Hendricks, which was uncharacteristic for him in game. Throughout the season. I mean, he only walked 8 batters, Hendricks, going into that game. So hopefully the lineup Marlins hitters can settle in and really make Darvish work.
Right.
And I would love to see them, put a run or 2 across early so that Sixto can maybe settle in and relax with a lead. Not that I think he would be too nervous or whatever pitching in a 0-0 ball game, but you would like to see them get a.
Sixto is made for this. He doesn't feel any of the pressure. I don't believe, just because he comes from another area. He wasn't born in America, so they have a form of competitiveness. That's not a fact, but you feel that with some Latin-born players. I'm looking at this Cubs lineup. It's not that impressive. Chris Bryant's having a down year. Hayward, he strikes out a lot. Baez all the way down at 7 is weird in the order, I think. But Rizzo is probably their best hitter right now.
Sixto just gunned in a 100-mile-an-hour fastball on the 3rd pitch of the game, so he looks fine to me, and strikes out Ian Happ swinging.
Nice.
That's one.
Nice. Yeah, Happ is the guy that you're really worried about here early on, I would assume. But like you said, this lineup, not a great lineup this year, but this lineup has pedigree, right? I mean, these guys have been through it before.
Good point.
But the key for Sixto will be, keeping guys off the base, right? Don't give any free passes, because their main weapon was the home run. And we saw it in game 1 with Happ's homer. Their main weapon is going to be the home run, so he's going to definitely want to limit, base runners, so limit the walks. The defense needs to catch the ball behind him, all of that stuff.
And you mentioned, David, early as I got on that I forgot which player of the Cubs, but they said that they get an extra day to view Sixto. I don't know how many days you really need to view him. I think he kind of exaggerated there. But what I did notice is Sixto, he hasn't, although he started really hot his last few starts, he gave up a few runs and then he escaped or so. But the way that teams have been playing him they're swinging first at the fastballs. They're swinging. They're playing more aggressive style opposed to waiting for pitches. Because, and it's proved to kind of knock him up a little bit.
Yeah, to your point, Ryan, the opponents have swung at either Sixto's first or second pitch 44% of the time, which according to StatCast is the highest for any starter with a minimum of at least 100 pitches like that. So people are being aggressive with him because they know that he's going to be around the zone. They know that he's not going to miss too much outside of the zone. So they try to jump on him that way. He just pumped in another 100-mile-an-hour pitch.
Yeah.
Anthony Rizzo struck out looking. So
watching. I love when the K is flipped for the looking strikeouts. Love it.
Yeah, man, that hit the zone barely. Oof.
Yeah, and Rizzo's not happy about it.
Nah.
It's a strike, though.
Yeah.
Ooh, painting that corner. Not corner, but inside. Woo.
Right there. That's a perfect pitch because even if he swings and he's not making solid contact on like that, that's getting hit right into the ground.
All about movement there.
Yeah.
So Sixto's going to be wearing number 45 next year, and then Jazz said he was going to wear number 2, or was it 3?
I haven't heard that. I mean, but 2 or 3 would look great. Either one of them. I mean, 3, I guess, to connect it to the Heat, right? To have, our best players wearing the number 3, because I think Jazz is going to be something special.
Mm-hmm.
I would like for him to get some more reps. Obviously, if we go in the next round, we'll see him maybe a pinch hit or run.
Yeah, that's the best part about this situation, right? I mean, the Marlins have 7 rookies on their playoff roster right now, and this is nothing but experience for them. And going through this essentially pennant race of a season, they accelerated the learning curve for a lot of these guys. I mean, did they need another year of minor league seasoning? Probably. You saw it with the hitters particularly. But going into next year, Jazz, Monte, Luan Diaz, Jesus Sanchez, all of those hitters which we had hoped to see a little bit more from, they're already going to be ahead of the curve a little bit. Monte will make a case to be on the opening day roster for next year, just based on his versatility and his weapons, as a speed threat and defensively. But some of those other guys, even if they start in the minors, they've accelerated the timeline and the learning curve with just this experience. So it's, even if, regardless of how far they go, whatever happens, the season has already been a plus for this group from that perspective.
For sure. 100%. And on that point, if postseason baseball, October baseball is just a different breed of baseball. Just, same thing can go with NBA playoffs or NFL playoffs. That's where you get paid. That's where you get your big contracts. But just hanging around some of the veterans, I guess Matt Joyce, but also, even Don Mattingly, I guess talking to Don Mattingly, some of the players just being, seeing him in the high intensity moments, like you said, you'll never forget that. And once you taste postseason baseball, I mean, that's the precedent, you would think, for the rest of their careers.
Mm-hmm. Listen, to your point, Mattingly said almost that exact same thing. He said something last week, he said something to the effect of, once you play, games like these, right? Once you play meaningful baseball games, postseason baseball games, pennant race, once you've been in those types of games, you don't want to play in the other ones anymore. You don't want to play meaningless games anymore. So again, all of this, it's extra, it's gravy, and they look good against the Cubs. And listen, if they can advance here today, or tomorrow, hopefully today, they're going to be a handful for the Braves to deal with because, Sandy looks great. Pablo is getting sharper and sharper with each turn.
Yeah.
Recently. Sixto's taking a step forward. I think, they're going to be a handful. And we know that the Braves don't have the best postseason history, right?
That's a good point.
You have to think the Braves got all their runs out of the way in that 29. They can't possibly score more.
I think I read by winning this series, it's their first series win since 2004, which is wild. I mean, they've been in the playoffs so often, right? I mean, they had some down years in there too, but to not advance at all in the playoffs since 04, I mean, the Marlins hadn't been in the playoffs since 03. So, they've got a potent lineup. That's definitely true. And they've got some good pitching, but they don't have like an overwhelming pitching staff, which is really what you worry about going into a postseason series.
Yeah. Max Fried is their, I guess, their best pitcher.
Yeah.
And they've been relying on athletic ability of Acuna and Freeman, and I mean I had them in my fantasy leagues, and I see the damage that they're doing. They're 5 RBI games. Acuna stealing multiple bases a game. And if they get Ozzie Albies back, to what he was expected to be, that lineup, man. And I know Christian knows. I mean, we don't want the Braves, but we want them because
why not? Why not take the Braves? Honestly,
we've seen them so many times. Yeah, it's better than playing the Padres right now or somebody that you're not too familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that Braves team, their biggest question is the starting pitching, and in a longer series, we'll see Max Fried, and Max Fried will obviously. I honestly think Max Fried is even worse, like less caliber pitching in my eyes than Darvish and Hendricks. So that's the best we're going to see is like the less than what we've seen this entire series. And then there's 2 guys, Ian Anderson, and there were a lot of questions revolving around him. He performed in Game 2 versus the Reds. He 7 shutout innings, 6 shutout innings. I know, and he struck out a lot of guys. He had a great game. But past that, the Braves team doesn't really have anyone. And I do think if our pitching can hold them and not allow 29 runs, it's definitely a possibility for this team. And then if we face somehow the Padres beat the Dodgers in the NLDS, or the Cardinals beat the Dodgers and Kershaw chokes again, then we could be. You never know. We could be in business. It's not completely out of the water.
It isn't. And if Trevor Rogers, if he can give us some good middle relief, and we just keep those three pitchers rotating, do you think that that we'll see somebody start besides those 3 guys for Miami?
I think they would have to. It would probably depend on how closely the games are bunched together.
Right.
But I would imagine because at that point it's a 5-game series, right? So you would definitely want Sandy, Pablo, and Sixto, in whatever order.
Right.
I would guess like Sandy, Sixto, Pablo, right? But then they might need to go to Trevor Rogers for a potential Game 4 in that spot. I mean. But even if they don't advance today, right? I mean, Darvish is looking pretty strong here early on. Just talking about the pitching, like the Cubs are going to roll John Lester out tomorrow, and you feel relatively comfortable against John Lester, certainly more so than Hendricks or Darvish, at least so far, and especially when you put him up against Pablo Lopez. Because Lester hasn't been great this year. I mean, I know he's a veteran; he's been there before, but he hasn't been great this year. So
yeah, he's getting older, but he has experience. I mean, this whole Cubs team has a lot of experience. That's Christian's point. I'm looking past the Cubs at this point. Darvish, he's going to give you 3 good innings. Go through the roster, and then you're going to get those big hits. Coop owes us. So does Brian Anderson. They both owe us some offense. I'm serious. And then you get Mag on base. So that I think that's what's to come.
Yeah, Anderson has been in a little bit of a funk lately, right? I think he finished the year like 4 for his last 25 or something like that, and then he was 0 for 5, I think, yesterday. So hopefully BA can snap out of it. Yeah, he's definitely due. The Cubs have a serious shift here on Joyce.
So talking about our roster, I'm seeing Coop up right now, but sometimes even although Aguilar might be our most timely hitter, our best hitter, sometimes it is Coop, sometimes it is BA. So we always have like a best hitter, and they go through their hot streaks. Who would you say right now is, besides what was Marte, but who would you say right now on this current roster is our hottest hitter?
Jesus Aguilar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say either Aguilar or maybe Miggy Rowe.
We need to get Miggy Rowe back too, hitting 3 for 3 or something.
Yeah, he's pretty good. But I would say Aguilar. I mean, you saw it last night. He's been there the whole year, and it's just it's going to be somebody, but that's kind of how this season has been, right? It's been everybody. Everybody's contributed. You can't point to like a single player and say this is the guy that he's the reason why they're winning. It's everybody. It's the whole group. So yesterday it was Dickerson and Aguilar. Today it's going to have to be somebody else or a few other guys.
And that worries me. But also at the same time, pitchers don't know what to expect. They want to get. Let's say they walk Aguilar, but the guy underneath him in the batting order is ready, to make that timely hit. Pitchers aren't necessarily prepared for who's what depends on like their strategy. Sometimes they pitch around certain players so they can either avoid certain players or so. Maybe we just like Dickerson. Nobody thought they pitched at Dickerson pretty nicely. He's getting some down the line pitches. Who knows? We'll find out.
Yeah, I've got Miggy Rowe up now with a runner on.
Yeah, same. I don't get how Darvish's arm stays healthy. I mean, this dude has thrown like 26 pitches, and I want to say 20 of them have been sliders. Like, that cannot be healthy. So much. It's like sometimes too much is too much. His fastball is good. He should use it more often. Or the cutter. It's the cutter, I guess. But same grip as a slider. You just throw it harder. So that hurts your arm the same. Ridiculous.
There's a lot of torque on that elbow.
Yeah. I threw a cutter when I was a kid, and I had tendonitis in my elbow like 4 different times. So I don't know how Darvish is out here doing it so freely, so easily. It's painful.
He's a specimen. He came in as well. I remember when he came into the league, how he was probably he won a Cy Young, I'm pretty sure, but he was one of the best top 3 pitchers for at least 2.5 years, 2-3 years or so, and then he kind of fell off. But he
was 9th in the Cy Young his rookie year, and he got second to Scherzer his second.
Oh, second, okay, yeah, he was winning like 16 games, no big deal. Kind of like Tanaka, like these guys come at in the league and just have immediate success, and then they kind of
they fade. I mean, you saw that. I mean, it's been like the classic story for those Asian pitchers, right? Nomo,
Ohtani, Nomo.
Yeah, they come in, they look great for a little bit, but then once the league ultimately adjusts to them, I guess they kind of make their way out of the league beyond that. I mean, not to say that Darvish isn't good. He's obviously really, really good, Right. It would be nice though for the Marlins to scratch this win across and advance today so that they can put all their focus. But even if they don't, this team when their back is against the wall, this is a resilient group. And I understand what Alex Chavez is saying there. Marlins need to close it out today or they're in trouble. But I actually think they would have that same approach tomorrow, even in an elimination game, and they'd be able to get that win. It's just as likely to win tomorrow for them as it is today, because this team bounces back. This team is resilient.
We've seen that all season. Really, they don't take any personal attack to their losses, and they come back. I mean, we've seen the 20-point losses, and so But I think once the lineup sees Darvish again, they're ready. They're ready to see. They're ready for their pitches. They know what they're going to be looking for.
This team has nothing to lose. Like what? They're not playing. They're not playing with this chip on their shoulder. They've exceeded all expectations already. And normally, when you exceed all expectations and you have a chance to go further, it's just there's no stress. You're just playing baseball. Yeah. And that's what this team does. They have been doing it all year. That's why the losses don't faze them. Because at the end of the day, everyone expected them to lose 29-9 all 60 games, not just one to the Braves. And I'm sure all 3 of us expected something along those lines this year. Expected that 19-41 season, that just awful baseball, and they've exceeded those expectations. So they're playing free, they're playing loose, and they're playing like a team who wants it, which is good. So it won't change today or tomorrow. Or if they go down 3-0 or 2-0 to the Braves, like they're going to play the same baseball that they always play.
Yeah, they're playing with house money at this point. I mean, you can kind of say that to a certain extent with the Heat. I mean, I know that the Heat expectations are different at this point, but nobody saw the Heat in the NBA Finals either, right? And obviously losing Goran and potentially losing Bam, that hurts that team. It kind of changes the way that you feel about that series. But I want to agree with what the commenter Robert Diaz just said. They have that Heat culture in them. It's true that there has been a culture change with this franchise, with the new ownership, with the new leadership, with Jeter and Michael Hill and the front office leading the way. These players are buying in, right? I mean, Miggy Rose signed his extension, and he said specifically that he signed it because the new ownership had a plan, right? And they're going in on pitching, on the young talent and all that stuff. And you're seeing that dividend pay off already with this group, how they're ahead of schedule and they're playing for each other and they're sacrificing for each other. And again, it's a very, very similar culture, like culture-wise to the Heat. We could say a lot of those same things about the Heat that we say here with the Marlins,
Yeah.
And the young talent is exciting.
Another reason why it's kind of similar to the Heat is because they're not really playing with any fans. So it shows the adjustment, to the ballpark where, although it might be quiet, in certain stadiums or loud, they're just zoned in on the ball, and in the same case with Tyler Hero, he just zoned in without any interaction. And with these young guys, it does affect them. That's natural. That's like natural, instincts where you feel fear. But here it's more like practice or simulated ball, like how they play.
Yeah.
Practice. Yeah. No, it literally is practice. I think the Heat probably with fans still have a really good shot of making the finals. I don't know about this Marlins team. I think having no fans really, really, helps them. They're not playing, especially in this series and a series against the Braves and a potential series against the Dodgers or Padres. Where we'll most likely be the lower seed, or we actually will guaranteed be the lowest seed because the Brewers and the Reds are out. So I think to not have to deal with that home field advantage, especially going into like the bubble, will really help this team just like play baseball. It's not, there's no external factors like you were saying. So it's super good for the Marlins.
And what's interesting is there are veterans that need that kind of stuff, right? I mean, you look at a guy like Javi Baez for the Cubs, and he's a showman, and so he needs a little bit of that crowd support. He needs to like feed off the energy of the crowd, and he's robbed of that here. I mean, Wrigley Field, we know, would have been sold out, and that place would have been hopping. And some of them young Marlins players might not have been able to answer the bell as well as they would have, right? Had there been fans there. But again, the equation is different this year. But then it speaks to like their ability to succeed in this context in this season is going to help them a year from now when the fans are back, because they could already say, yeah, I've been successful here, I belong here, so I might as well continue that success, right? And we're seeing Sixto kind of find that old form. I mean, he looks really, really sharp here early on.
He does 3 Ks through 4 batters. I mean,
they haven't seen him yet. They haven't seen him yet, right? So although they watch film, it's completely different.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were expecting 100 miles per hour on every pitch. Did we see this in the regular? Was he hitting 100 every pitch, like in the regular season? I don't think so, right?
Every pitch, no. I mean, I remember seeing him hit it early in games, but then also later in games. Like he was hitting 100 when he completed that doubleheader, when he threw that, the 7-inning game. He was hitting 100 late in that one too. But I mean, he's hitting it a lot here today. He is
hit it again.
Ready to go.
Wow. When he misses 100, it's 99. There's no. This kid is.
Yeah.
He's built for the big moment, it seems.
I mean, look, he saw what Sandy did yesterday, and I mean, you have to imagine Sandy is such a competitor that he almost took it personally that people were saying, "Oh, Sixto's the ace," and Sandy has like, "No, you're not the ace, not yet." And he goes out and he shuts down the Yankees, and then he shuts down the Cubs in the postseason. But now this is like Sixto's response, right? his competitive juices are flowing. So he's looking great. I mean, look at that pitch velocity. I mean, he's pumping it in there. I mean,
He is.
And
He's
it's
just
great.
at 97, and I'm confused. Like maybe something's wrong.
Do you think we would have seen him this year if it was a regular season?
No.
I do.
Yeah,
I think so. I mean, maybe it would have been later in the year. Maybe it would have been like a September call up and stuff. But he was on the cusp of making it to the show at this point anyway. 22 years old. You wanna get your young talent up. It would have been dictated by injury and stuff like that, which is kind of how we saw him this year. But once they had him, he just hit Jason Hayward with 100.
Jason Hayward didn't even flinch.
That pitch was 101 miles per hour. He is not going to be able to walk.
You see, he's writing. Oh, I see him writing something in the sand. Sixto.
That's a big missed opportunity there. I mean, 0-2 to Hayward and you hit him. It's just free AB, free base paths. Honestly.
Yeah. You can't give up those free 90 feet. But I do think he would have made it to the league this year towards the end of the year.
Towards the end of the year.
Yeah. Giving injury situations and all that, and obviously how he would have produced at the minor league level. But they were slow with him this year because they wanted to build up his arm because they knew once he got to the show, that's it. He was going to stay.
Right.
But I do think that we would have seen him.
Man. Got to get some run support.
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough for both teams to put run support on the board. Not an easy task when you got Sixto throwing 100 on one end and Darvish throwing 94-mile-an-hour cutters on the other.
Yeah.
Man. So I mean, I guess it's safe to say we won the Phillies trade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that, and it becomes an overwhelming win, especially if Real Muto leaves the Phillies this year in free agency. But definitely won that trade. I think we won the Marcell Ozuna trade for sure.
Yeah, we got to start. Yeah,
with
starting pitching has more weight and value than anything else.
Yeah, I mean, we got Sandy in that deal, and then we got Gallen in that deal too.
It's been amazing.
And then they flipped Gallen to get Jazz. So that was like it helps us with that deal also.
Sandy just went 98, 99, 100, and Baez swung through all three. Wow.
Gotta love it.
Yeah. I think they won the Giancarlo Stanton trade too. And not that, the prospects that they got for Stanton have been incredible, but just to get off of that contract and help sort of reset the finances for the franchise was big. I mean, the only one of those trades that you look at and you're like, yeah, we probably lost that one. The Yelich deal.
Yeah.
But even then, Yelich is Yelich, right? MVP, all that. But, even that, like, we're seeing the development of Lewis Brinson. Isan Diaz, it's still too early to call him a finished product. Monte Harrison, the same thing. I mean, Yamamoto's probably not an MLB pitcher anymore, considering his performance. Maybe he straightens it out with an off season and some time to work and all that. But he really, really struggled this year. But even then, the deals that this front office made to start this rebuild, they've all been good deals. Maybe there was some questions at the time, but if you just look at it from just like a reset standpoint, they've done really, really well with each of those deals.
Yeah. And going back to the Stanton thing, his availability, although when he plays, he's great. But imagine you have him in the starting, you have him start as a starter, pinned in as a starter, and he's playing 25% of your games.
Yeah.
Now you need to replace him with a Matt Joyce type of player, or a utility guy instead of having, you lose that starter and you'd be paying him $30 million plus. So yeah, we got his best years. Hopefully he has some good years. He's still one of my favorite players.
Yeah, he's a great player, and I enjoy watching him play. But he has clear flaws in his game, right? And the contract that he signed was an albatross, right? It was just going to hang around the neck of this franchise
Right.
for
Yeah.
too long. They weren't going to be able to do anything meaningful with that contract. And like you said, his availability is an important ability, right? And like he was in and out of the lineup, not always his fault, right? I mean, when you get hit in the face with a pitch,
Yeah, not his fault.
there's not much you can do about that, right? But you worry about putting that much money into a single player in a lineup. Like baseball, you can't really construct a roster in that way. You have to be able to spread the money out. You have to be able to plug the holes and things like that. So it's tough to give that huge amount of money because, I mean, look at him. Who else? Mike Trout has a monster.
Yeah, that's the big one.
Yeah.
Harper.
Harper. Mookie Betts.
I mean, that Phillies team is pretty spread out, though. I don't know how they don't succeed, man. They that lineup is really good.
Well,
the Nats? The Nats?
No, the Phillies.
Really?
They're. I mean, they put all the money into the lineup, though. They needed to put some money into that bullpen.
Yeah.
That was their big weakness this year, right? So, I mean, Sixto is in control in this one. Absolutely just a flamethrower today. Now, hopefully, we got Mag Sierra up. And
Line out the center immediately.
all
All right, that's aggressive. I like it.
It was a good swing. It was a good swing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's his first time around, so he's attacking. It's a good sign.
Yeah. But they do. You're gonna want. Hopefully, they'll start working some of these counts a little bit more and getting on base and putting pressure on Darvish because, Sixto looks great right now, but he definitely needs some run support. So,
Wallach in a one pitch ground out to Javi Baez. Darvish is staying in the zone though, which is good for later in the game if he gets too comfortable. And I'm trying to rationalize how we're gonna score against this guy. Seems daunting.
well, we saw similar. We had similar fears yesterday at this point against Kyle Hendricks, right? He was controlling the game completely, which is again why we want to see them maybe work these counts a little bit. He's only at 33 pitches with 2 outs in the third inning. At this point against Hendricks, he had probably thrown, more than 40 pitches.
I think he ended the third inning with 48 pitches.
Yeah, so, I wonder what the game plan is because they do seem to be swinging early and often against Darvish. Maybe they're trying to stay away from some of his nastier stuff, and they're trying to jump on some of these fastballs and whatnot. Because they are being really, really aggressive early in these counts.
Yeah. It's almost hard. It's hard to hit that fastball Darvish after 4 cutters.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny how we have John Birdie batting second on our playoff roster. Although to be fair, he's earned that spot, and he's giving you the defense, he's giving you flying on the bases and some timely hits, but I don't think we would have ever expected that, considering we had Isan.
Right, we started the year with VR.
Yeah, right.
Right. Birdie's role. Ideally, Birdie's role is like the super utility off the bench guy, and
right.
But you're right. He's absolutely earned his spot at second base, for now, right? But looking forward, Isan, will have something to say about that. Jazz Chisholm can play second base. We've seen that. Do they go out and sign a veteran? Maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah, at this point, you need to fill second with somebody else, respectfully.
You give Isan and Jazz a shot to sort of take over there. But I would probably consider bringing in another veteran for that second base spot. With Chad Wallach starting these first 2 playoff games, it makes you wonder how they feel about Jorge Alfaro, right? Is he part of the year? So do they bring in a catcher? There's a few interesting free agent options out there going into next year. But, and they'll have some money.
I was going to bring that up, like you're mentioning, with Alfaro. Is it still concussion related, or is he just not built for the playoff? Is it too early?
No, I think to be honest, and Christian, I don't know what your opinion is on this, but to be honest, I think it has more to do with the fact that the pitchers seem comfortable with Wallach more than they do with Alfaro, and that they seem to have found their groove pitching to Wallach. And while Alfaro might have like the better bat, his numbers weren't eye-popping this year. Like his numbers weren't justifying a huge start over, like a necessary start over Wallach. I mean, Christian, what do you think?
I'm on the same page with you. I don't think it's like, any hard feelings toward Jorge Alfaro. I don't think the team dislikes him. I mean, he's the one who had all those quotes about the team being family. And I'm sure that he's more than okay with his role on the team, right? He's happy to be here. It's a family ordeal, as he said. But I do think it's more of the fact that Chad Wallach is better at controlling the game behind the plate. And on a playoff team, that is what you want. You want your Yadier Molinas. You don't necessarily want who's an example of a hitting catcher. You don't want your Gary Sanchez.
Yeah. And like Severelli, Francisco, he was on fire with us. I mean, and he's not really known for hitting, but he's more of a defensive catcher. But those timely hits, that's what we're expecting from Wallach. Also, game one, Wallach had that really good catch, where it was a foul ball to the left side.
Yeah.
That was a huge play. I think we take that one for granted. But yeah, he's good defensively, and I think that's the most important thing. Defense, and when you have Sixto on the mound, you can give up, you can score 1 or 2 runs and win. So you can I guess the word is I guess you could just have a lesser talented offensive player compromise your offense a little bit there.
Yeah, absolutely. You go with the defensive option because ultimately what wins in the postseason is pitching, right? And you hope that you can adjust enough offense, to get ahead and whatnot. And that's really why they went with Wallach. So it makes you wonder about the future, right? Do they go out and get another catcher if they really don't believe in Alfaro to be able to do that? I mean, this season has been a tough one for him, obviously. So maybe he just needs a reset moving forward. He's got great offensive talent. I mean, he's got a cannon for an arm back there, so he helps control the run game a little bit. But Wallach, and then obviously, as you said too, Cervelli was so great, not only just with the pitching staff, but he was getting those timely hits early on.
Yeah.
He I can't imagine that he's going to be back next year. He's probably going to.
Yeah, he might call it quits.
Yeah, because
Alfaro, though, is only 27. I'm not sure, the prime age for a catcher.
Yeah, right. 27. He's still young. He's probably not in he may be entering that window of prime years or whatever. And like Alex mentioned, the commenter there, framing is incredibly important, defense is incredibly important, and Alfaro, like, those aren't his strengths. So it makes you wonder about his field. But again, listen, the Marlins also just they let go a couple guys from their system, including the catching coordinator, the minor league catching coordinator. I forget his name, but it makes you wonder. And they don't have like frontline prospects at catcher behind him. I mean, the most notable catcher prospect that they have behind Alfaro is probably Will Banfield, but he's still a ways away from producing at the major league level. So you figure that the Marlins are probably going to have to address the catcher position moving forward for sure.
For sure. I completely agree. I think this situation, it's not a bad one to be in. It's more of just, I feel like, not an annoyance, but like a minor issue that needs to be fixed. And those fixing a minor issues are the things that, make a championship team. So there's no reason not to go out there and fix that second base role. There's no reason not to go out there and fix that catcher role, especially with, more like a better one from free agents to come to Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Now that we've found our way into the playoffs, have shown a different level of culture and game plan. So
no, they proved themselves to be a competent, competitive Major League Baseball team when people thought they were essentially a AAA roster coming into the year.
Right.
And then you've got guys like Sixto Sanchez pumping in 100 miles per hour, striking guys out at the top of the zone. and then getting a one pitch ground out here. I mean, he is in complete control of this ball game. This is
he
just
struck
like
out David Boat like 3 times. The called like balls on pitches in the zone. So
yeah.
I mean, it shows a lot of maturity to have that happen and then strike him out anyways. That's not something you see from 22-year-olds. So
no, he's been like this is really promising. This start here. You wondered about it coming into the game, right? I mean, in his previous 7 innings, I think, of work, he had given up 9 earned runs and had 6 walks and only 4 strikeouts. I mean, this is back to that form from early on in the year, when he was really sharp and attacking the zone, challenging hitters. This will be his first time through the lineup, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, so he's going to see Ian Happ for a second time here. I'm going to have to head off after this half inning. I have a class in like 4 minutes, but hopefully one of the 2 others come back and join you. I don't know. I don't really know. Okay, there we go.
There he is. Alejandro coming in off the top rope.
I've been here. I was solving some issues with the internet and work. So I've been listening to you guys, and I'll be back to
first hit of the game. Ian Happ,
in for our friend Christian. So I'll be back.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, Ian Happ gets on. Not a great swing.
No, it wasn't a great swing. I mean, it wasn't a missed pitch, right? He put it where he wanted it, and Happ, fought it off. But that little bloop single is the first hit of the ball game.
For either side, too.
Yeah, he's been really, really good. But again, now as we're moving into that second turn through the lineup, I'm curious to see what he looks like. I'm also curious to see, if he starts to run into trouble here with the second turn, does Mattingly go somewhere else quickly? Does Mattingly pull the trigger? I mean, he's been so dominant here today, it's hard to imagine that Mattingly will pull him. But if he starts to struggle here as the hitters see him for a second time, I wonder if Mattingly goes to Trevor Rogers, or one of the other bullpen arms.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would take a decent amount of runs put up from the Cubs, especially just with this fast start. This is a little scary. We have Anthony Rizzo up, veteran hitter, has been there, won a World Series. If anyone's adjusting to Sixto's 100-mile-an-hour fastball and turning on one, it's this guy. So,
yeah.
It's a good pitch. Get ahead. Sixto's dotting up the corner. And he has been missing out of the zone, which is important to note. Like, his misses have not been middle, but instead way out. But I'd rather way out than way in.
For sure. I mean, as you said, Rizzo has pop, so if you're going to miss, he had 11 home runs this year, 24 RBI. We've seen him do it before, so he's got to lock in here. He's ahead in the count. So.
Fly ball to Dickerson to end the half inning. So with that, I will leave you guys. But as always, it's been a blast. Thanks for having me. I'm going to try to hop on if my class ends and I get out of my meeting early, but we'll see. Peace out, guys.
Go learn things, man.
I will try my best.
That's what college for, right? To learn.
Gotta learn new things.
Yeah. Learn new things and hopefully experience lots of things. College is that too.
Yeah. You always, sometimes you should be able to come back to college. So this is a heat map for Sixto Sanchez today. You guys were talking about where he was working. You can see how he's working a lot in the outside for right-handed batters or inside for left-handers. We saw the strikeout against Anthony Rizzo there. And this is his pitch count and the way he's been using his pitches. A lot of fastballs, of course. He's got 9 whiffs already, which is something great. He lost a little bit of that in the last couple of outings in the regular season, and he got a little of that back tonight with 8 whiffs from the fastball and 1 from the sinker. So there you go. They have a lot of not as many changes. You remember he was using his changeup a lot in the beginning of his first couple of starts.
He was. And you know what? The fact that he's leaned so much on his fastball here makes me wonder if now that's going to be the in-game adjustment that he makes. They haven't seen a lot of change-ups from him, so maybe he starts to use some of this other stuff that he has, because all of his other stuff is great, you know. So yeah, I'm definitely wondering if he turns around and he starts using the changeup a little bit more, because it is one of his better pitches. And you got to imagine that these veteran Cub hitters are going to start to adjust to that fastball, you know, and start to, you know, they've been relatively aggressive up there. You know, his pitch count isn't at a crazy number right now. So, you know, you wonder if the Cubs are looking for those opportunities. But yeah, it's I mean, 71% of his pitches thus far have been the four-seam fastball. So it does make you wonder if he's going to go in a different direction as this lineup continues to turn around. But that was a big out that he got there against Rizzo. You know, first time he had a runner on base and all that. So
yeah, I heard you guys talking about the possibility of taking him out. And I don't know. I mean, we saw how the bullpen didn't work as much a couple of days ago. They have the extra day to rest, so they might just throw Sanchez for 6 innings, and that'll be great for this Marlins bullpen. But if it's gonna depend on how many runs. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna turn my hat frontwards, and that way we get to score some runs.
Rally cap.
Yes, rally cap. Let's see what Alex Sanchez is saying, or Alex Chavez is saying about Sanchez. The way Sanchez is pitching, they need luck to play a role. And then Alex says when his fastball velocity starts to drop, I think Sanchez will start working with his changeup.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me too. I mean,
yeah, but let me tell you something, Alex. The velocity is not going to drop. What happened?
John Birdie got a base hit, first hit for the Marlins here.
Okay, here we go.
We know what happens when John Birdie gets on base.
He's going.
He's going to go. That's right. And listen, Darvish isn't great with keeping runners on. And they switch Contreras is not catching today. It's Caratini, and he's nowhere near as good throwing out runners. So it's I really think it's only a matter of time here before John Birdie takes off.
Here you have to be. Here's the thing. Yesterday they tried with it wasn't a pitch out, but it looked like a pitch out, right? When Birdie stole that base. So here, if you have to throw 15 times to first base, you have to, because you can't let that runner to get to scoring position with less than 2 outs.
Yeah,
against this Marlins team, that's their game. So you have to be very careful with the runner on first. Let's see what Darvish does.
Yeah, I mean they got they converted almost 80% of the time on stolen base tries, you know, so the Marlins have some good talent, some good base running talent. Birdie was, you know, arguably the best of the bunch, right? I mean, we saw Jonathan Villar rack up a bunch of steals, but he was also a little reckless on the base paths. And you could see Darvish is already thinking about Birdie, and he's worried about him over there, you know, so it's one of those things that they have to pay attention to.
Yeah, for sure. And then another thing, Jesus Aguilar is a very good hitter, and you could try a hit and run here too. I mean, he has power, but he's not that typical just power or nothing guy. He can go the other way. He can hit behind the runner. So it's going to be interesting to see the way Mattingly plays it right here, because you're not going to get a lot of runners on. At least that's not been the case in this series so far. So you have to make the most out of any opportunity that you get when you're in the base path.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you think about the game yesterday, they had some opportunities early against Hendricks. This is kind of their first opportunity here against Darvish. So
right.
Hopefully they're able to convert.
We'll see. You see the coach there timing everything to how long is it taking to go to home plate. That's going to be key. Darvish is not the best holding runners either. So he has that long kick. I mean, he brings the leg in, and then he goes with the leg out, and then he pitches. So once you see that leg going a little bit up, that's your cue to go and run and steal some bases. I wasn't that fast in college, but that was my point. Just timing the pitcher. Okay, he's doing this. What happened? What happened? Don't woof me. Don't woof me like that. What happened?
Jesus Aguilar got plunked. Hit by pitch. But Birdie was running. Birdie was running on the pitch. Like, as you were saying, the bit about the leg kick, like Darvish brought his leg up and Birdie took off. Exactly what you were saying. But Darvish missed and hit Aguilar. So now this is really an opportunity. The Marlins have a runner in scoring position.
Yay.
No outs. We've got the meat of the order coming up. I mean, this is a spot here where the Marlins, especially in this game, this spot where they have to go through. You know,
this is where you drop the bunt. Drop the bunt.
I don't know that Brian is going to do it, but he definitely needs a productive out. He needs to go. If he's going to put the ball on the ground, he's got to not that kind of out. I mean, double play, first pitch.
Wow. See, that's why you drop the bunt, man.
No, it's too early, Lasner. It's too early. But I understand. It's frustrating, but it's just how the game's played nowadays. I don't know.
Well, the Marlins play small ball.
I mean, it could be a personal decision. It's just from a manager standpoint. I wouldn't send the bunt signal to Anderson. If Anderson wants to bunt, that's fine. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It's probably a personal decision, But now, in order to capitalize on this opportunity, it's going to take a base hit from Garrett Cooper.
Well, here we are again, David. Remember the first game? We had 3 or 4 times men on third or both scoring position, second and third, with 2 outs. Here's our first shot of the second game of the wild card series. We'll see if Lasner brings the mojo back for the Marlins with the 2 outs.
Let's hope so. I mean, listen, you turn your hat around and they got 2 runners on just like that. So hopefully that hat's got a little bit of mojo in it too. Because
it's a good sign that they're attacking. Although Darvish hit Aguilar, it's a good sign that they're getting on base and figuring him out. Perhaps big at bat for Coop here. Big at bat.
Yeah, I mean, the Marlins as a team, we've talked about this a lot with our Marlins reports, and we talked about this the other day. The Marlins have been really good with 2 outs this year. I mean, they scored almost 50% of their runs with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. They were the best team in the National. They had the most runs in that category. So you're looking for an opportunity here. I mean, they hit 256, I think, with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. So, Cooper needs to come through. I mean, he's one of the young bats in the lineup. He's one of the guys that they seem to be potentially building around. I mean, Cooper had a nice bounce back year after struggling with injuries. Right. I mean, there were questions about him being an everyday player. Mattingly wasn't sure that Cooper was an everyday player because he had so many injury issues. And this year, he had the COVID issue, right? But he seems to have been able to turn the corner a little bit. He was one of the most productive bats down the stretch for this Marlins team. So hopefully he can come through with a big hit here in a big spot.
I think he is. I mean, don't tell me if it happened already, but I'm watching it. It's a 2-2 count from what I'm seeing, and this is huge for Coop. Really important in the game. If he could break it open, it changes everything. Oh, strikes out. Strikes out.
Damn. You're ahead of me.
You are ahead. So
that was a very unsuccessful at bat. Inning. You get 2 guys on, no outs, and you don't get any runs. You got to take care of these runs, man. I know I brought it up earlier in the show where dropping the bunt is just so important. You got to move guys over, and when you have Sixto and he's pitching a game like this, you got to give him something to work.
Yeah, this is the frustration, right? This is the worry with this offense, that they fall into that malaise, and they go dormant. And I mean, 2 on, nobody out, and then you follow the 2 on, nobody out with a double play on the first pitch that one of your best hitters sees, and then you follow that with a runner on third. Another one of your best pitchers chases a slider way out of the zone, and that was it for that threat. I mean, we saw a lot of that yesterday. It's still early in this one, right? It's still just the 4th inning.
Yeah.
So they'll have to continue to manufacture those opportunities. But yeah, that was obviously disappointing to see that they couldn't come through in that spot.
Man, Darvish, man. I guess Darvish is spinning then, but it's whatever. That was a great opportunity. Let's do it again in the next offensive inning, because that's not fair to Sixto at all. He's doing amazing things, and if he gets that W, he's going to put the Marlins on the map. He's one of the brightest stars coming to the league, and although he's not going to win Rookie of the Year, he should, especially if he wins a few games in the postseason.
Yeah, I mean, right. He's been great, and you can only, you look at him, and you look at some of the other young pitchers that we have, and you see that the future is bright. I mean, I mentioned this the other day. The Marlins are only the 5th team in, only the 5th team in baseball history to have 3 pitchers at 25 years or younger to start a 3-game postseason run.
Wow.
And they're not going to roll out a starter older than Sandy. Like it's not going to happen.
Right.
So things are looking up. It's exciting for sure that that this is like the direction that the franchise is going in. But again, the offense, it needs to come through here. It needs to. Yeah. There's an opportunity. There's a real opportunity here to advance. And they've got to take that opportunity. They can't rely on it. They can't rely on Sixto throwing up zeros for the entire game.
I remember,
and BA, man.
Every time I used to go to the stadium with my dad, he would be like, he never played baseball, so he gets frustrated, like as a fan, right? He's like, "Come on, why are you not hitting the ball?" I play baseball. I'm like, well, it's a game of patience. I mean, it's a game of failure. So I guess you get used to just not scoring every inning because it just doesn't happen. But yeah, I agree. I didn't agree with the logic there that Mattingly used. I mean, you have Brian Anderson, a guy that can hit a homer, an extra base. That's fine. Maybe if it's a 7th inning, I can think about it. It's getting late in the game. Maybe you should bunt him over, and that's it. Remember what happened with Chad Wallach the other day? He tried to bunt the first pitch, then he saw what defensive scheme they were doing. The Cubs like to bringing Rizzo all the way down, and maybe he didn't feel comfortable, and then he ended up grounding into double play. So I don't know. It's a lot of details that you have to take into consideration in type of moments.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the fun things about baseball, right? I mean, there's so much going on. It's a series of like one-on-one battles, right? It's a really unique sport in that way. But all these decisions, you've got to make them, like with snap judgments. So it's interesting. But hopefully Sixto can keep it going here as he goes through the lineup for that second time.
Yes, let's look up how he does against the lineups in the second time. Let me see if I can find it.
And then Miguel Rojas, like you said, David, you think he's a strong hitter, and he's going to be up second in the inning. And if he can get on, you get Sierra on after him on the base pass. That'll be interesting. But this is the weakest part of our lineup. I'm a little worried, but we shouldn't. We have Sixto pitching.
Yeah, I mean, right. So we have Joyce, Rojas, and Sierra up to start the next inning.
Yeah.
if Joyce can get on base, you feel pretty good with Miggy Rowe in there. Sierra has had opportunities in the past, but he's obviously never been in a postseason situation before. So, it's but somebody's got to make a play offensively. Somebody's got to make a play. Just like Dickerson had the big swing
Right.
in game 1, somebody's going to have to come up with a big hit here in game 2. Contreras is really making Sixto work in this at bat.
Yeah.
The Cubs are interesting in that they keep their catchers in the lineup. One of them is the catcher, and then one of them is the DH almost every time.
And the other one's in left field.
Right.
And they're maybe because their manager was a former catcher, so
yeah, that's true.
He's a liking to it. And
former catcher, and he was on Dancing with the Stars, I think, too.
Yeah. He won a World Series. I think he might have been with the White Sox too. I could be wrong when they won the World Series, but
well, I think, not the White Sox, but maybe the Red Sox.
Oh, okay, that's maybe what it was. You're right.
But
I look at that White Sox team and it's so random. That lineup that won that year with Ozzie Guillen.
Yeah, there have been some random lineups out there.
David Ross was with the Boston Red Sox in 2013. So,
Okay.
yes, in that championship. And then, yes, or 14. I don't remember which one was the championship. And then with the Cubs in 2016. He started with the Braves. No, with the Dodgers. But he played with Pittsburgh, San Diego, Cincinnati, Boston, the Braves, Boston again, and then the Cubs. 15 years in the majors.
Wow.
Yeah, kind of all over the place. Sixto lost Contreras though to start this inning, so he's got his hands full now. He's got Schwarber, Chris Bryant, Jason Hayward. They're all good hitters behind him. So
Bryant's had such a bad year, and I've been following him with fantasy. Javi Baez is like their most dangerous hitter, or Rizzo, and then Schwarber, I don't know. We'll find out. Sixto doesn't really have any problems with any of these guys.
You see how he went for the changeup in that 3-2 count? Because Contreras was fouling off all the pitches, and then he tried to go with the changeup and couldn't locate it. So
yeah.
Maybe that's it. Maybe he doesn't have the feeling for the changeup today.
Yeah, I was about to say maybe that's why he hasn't used it very much today, because he doesn't have the feel for it.
Yeah, only 7 changeups today when he used to be like his wipeout pitch.
Yeah. Boy, that last pitch that he just threw to Schwarber that was a strike. Look at that pitch number. What is that? Pitch number 3
or 4.
With a ball. No, it looks like the game day is a little bit ahead of me, but boy.
Oh yeah, number 3 looks like a strike. Number 4 against it was a foul. So yes,
he fouled it out. Yeah.
And Schwarber's had some big hits with their last World Series run. He was supposed to be a pretty good guy, and then he kind of just tailed off. He was like a home run hitter out the gate, and then he fizzled out when he first came on the scene.
Yeah, Bryant has been pretty bad.
Yeah.
But they definitely look more dangerous on paper when you look at this lineup and you recognize the names and things like that.
Yep.
Still, they've had that experience. They've had that run.
Right. Chris Bryant though is another one where he was like an MVP candidate, and he hasn't even been close. Kind of like Christian Yelich. I don't know. This year is just weird for a lot of hitters. Maybe they were all stealing signs like the Astros. I don't know if we're allowed to say that, but it just seems a little strange. Maybe the baseballs. Remember we were hearing the baseballs were juiced last year? I don't know. MLB though.
Well, it looked like it because every ball was going out like nothing. So this year that didn't go the same way. So I don't know. It's you can't really compare this year. I guess you have to wait for next year and compare a full season, and then you'll get a better idea of if hitters are actually having a bad season or it's just 1 month or 2 months that they couldn't hit the ball.
I agree. Yeah, because Yelich, he's gonna bounce back, maybe even this playoffs. But yeah, batting 205 is really strange.
So 2 walks, huh?
Oh man, Wallach had a chance to snag that foul tip. It would have been strike 3, but yeah, then he loses Schwarber. So I guess this is what you worry about, right?
This is the double play moment.
Yeah, he did get ground outs at a pretty good rate. He going into the postseason, his ground ball rate was 58%. Wow. So I mean, he's gonna need one of those here. But Jason Hayward is a good hitter, So you worry about.
You worry have Bryant up, no?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Bryant is up next. Yeah, Bryant is up next.
Which he's arguably a better hitter than Hayward. Although Hayward had a better season so far than Bryant.
Yeah. Yeah, Hayward's numbers were better this year, but probably historically Bryant might be the better hitter for sure.
Yeah. Oh boy. And I mean, at least we could bounce. Hypothetically, we have a game tomorrow, if anything, but we don't want to see tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, that was the good thing about having Sixto start in game 2, right? In the event that they're not able to close it out, you have Pablo Lopez, a great pitcher in his own right, going for the win in game 3. I mean, hopefully Sixto can make the pitches that he needs to make right here. I mean, he's up at 58 pitches, and there's nobody out in the 4th, so. His pitch count is working its way up, so I can't imagine that he's going to be.
Yeah, he might give you 6 or 7 innings, max. Yeah. Although I mean, if he's considerably. Oh, here we go, Bryant. Oh, okay.
Don't owe me. What happened?
It was a pop up infield pop up caught by Miggy, so 1 out still, but nobody moved.
Yeah, they almost doubled Contreras off of second.
Wow, great job, Miggs. I guess that was the shift.
Well, no, that was Birdie got the Birdie made the catch, and then
yeah. Now I see the replay again.
Yeah.
See the replay again.
Yeah.
All right, I'm okay with this now. Hey, double play, and we're out of the inning.
Yeah.
I feel like Hayward. Yeah, with all respect to Hayward, he just seems like a guy. It's home run or bust. Although his numbers look nice, 265, 6 home runs.
Hopefully bust.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with bust.
Damn, Sixto, fire.
I mean, Christian was saying this a little bit earlier, but Sixto hasn't. Like the misses that he's had, he's missing out of the zone. So that's what you wanted against a lineup like this, the veteran hitters. If you're gonna miss, you got to miss out of the zone. He's got to be really careful here with Hayward.
Look at the heat map here. I have the heat map for Sixto today, and that's how he's been working.
He likes to go up and in on the left-handed hitters. They just called strike 1 for him against Hayward. It looked a little high, so Marlins getting a little bit of help with that last pitch.
There it is. You can see it. That number 2 right there. It was a high fastball, I think. Yes.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't have the feel for the changeup. He's at that point. I mean, he must be hoping for them just to chase. But there are some hitters in this lineup that'll chase, but Jason Hayward isn't really one of them.
I was thinking, so Sixto, he's not a tall pitcher, and typically, the taller guys have the longer careers. And, especially with the amount of velocity that he's throwing, he's going to have to develop some more pitches than just the fastballs, so that he could diversify his portfolio a bit to last longer, his career-wise.
Yeah, he throws a couple different things, but he relies almost exclusively on that fastball. Like he is on that fastball quite a bit, and then he'll go changeup. He's got a sinker and a slider too, but he doesn't seem confident in either of those pitches. At least not like he'll mix them in every now and then.
Yeah,
but
I think that slider is gonna be key against righties. That white out slider, yeah. What happened? What happened? Don't move me. What happened?
Did it happen?
Matt Joyce threw out Wilson Contreras at home.
Oh
my God. I haven't seen it.
He threw out Wilson Contreras at home.
Oh, here's the play. Here's the play. Okay, so base hit.
Sixto shatters Jason Hayward's bat.
Yeah.
And then Joyce was playing deep. He charged the ball, and he makes a great throw. And Wallach was able to lay down the tag.
That's that veteran arm.
Yeah.
And Joyce.
He destroyed that bat.
Wow.
I'm so behind. Let me see what happened. I'm still watching Hayward here. Let me see.
That reminds me of Ivan Rodriguez a little bit with Kona.
A little bit.
Just because it's playoff baseball.
Yeah. Certainly, the Pudge Rodriguez was a little bit more dramatic, right?
Oh yeah.
One of the best moments in franchise history when he's coming up, still holding the ball, like shaking his hand with it.
That I just watched it play. That was a perfect throw. One hop, one hop to the chest, just unbelievable. And then watching the replay, Sixto missed way in, and Wallach was set up way outside. So
yeah,
okay, but he's about to get out of this inning. 0-2 count against Javi Baez. High fastball, and that's it. Don't mess with it.
I mean, such a great throw. And listen, Wallach puts a great tag.
Yeah.
Contreras was out. I mean, he was nice and wide coming around, and Wallach had to make a good play there too. So, I get another reason you wonder if that's why
they put him in.
If that's why they put him in. Yeah, I mean, you would hope that Alfaro makes that same sort of play, but still. But yeah, the fact that Sixto has been able to get out of this,
What happened?
A fly out to right field.
Okay, good.
Yeah, he creates this trouble for himself, and then he was able to work out of it. I mean, it took a great defensive play, but
he's been good at that. Whether he's getting double plays or just getting out of trouble in general. He keeps his composure. It seems like no moment is too big for him, as cliche as it sounds.
Yeah, I mean, he's up to 68 pitches through 4 innings, so it's probably hard to see him go deeper than maybe another inning or two. He's been through the lineup almost twice at this point. Bodie and Caratini are up next, and then Happ will get his third look at Sixto. So I wouldn't be surprised if Mattingly starts warming up the bullpen a little bit, especially if he runs into a spot of trouble, in the 5th. But 68 pitches is a lot through 4.
Yeah, but they'll let him go 100 pitches if he doesn't give up any runs. You would think.
Well, I don't remember if they did it at all during the season, right? They were pretty careful with his arm.
Yeah, with him they were very careful. The only pitcher that I can remember off the top of my head is that did that with Sandy. I think Sandy got to 100 pitches once or twice, but I don't know that Mattingly's really let anybody else go up that far.
You got to. This is the time. This is the time. Playoff baseball, man. Different game.
It could be. I mean, he's only given up 2 hits thus far. He's got 2 hits, 2 walks. He's got 5 strikeouts. But listen, in this second turn through the lineup, I don't think that he's registered a strikeout in the second turn.
Okay, that's not a good sign.
I mean, there's
real quick.
There's some adjustment there from the Cubs hitters, but It's all about him, making the pitches at this point. Now he has to show that he's a pitcher and not just like a flamethrower.
Good point. This is his time.
Yep.
But also, pitching, throwing heat late in games is also, it shows, his dexterity and what he's capable of, especially if he knows. If Don Mattingly tells him, listen, your pitch count is going to be 80 or 90, we're maxing you out there, he's still going to throw heat until he reaches that number.
Yeah.
David Bote
struck
out to start the third, so that was his last strikeout.
Okay. Yeah. So, and that was what? That was still in the first turn through the lineup. So,
yes.
Yeah,
and he's the next guy that he's going to face.
Yeah, he hasn't been able to register a strikeout since, but still he's pitching well, and he's not he's not making the bad pitch, like he's not missing in a bad spot. So hopefully the offense can come through.
That's what we're waiting on, and we got the bottom of the lineup. So we're just Joyce.
Yeah,
what happened?
Joyce turned on one. It looked like it would have been a double, but Hayward, who's a really, really good defender, was able to track it down in right field. They had him pretty well.
Watching the replay, Contreras didn't go from the from the contact point, so that was the key there, because if he goes right off contact, he would have made it to home plate. And every time a defensive player makes a play like this, he starts the inning, right? It's
Yeah, and he would have listened. That hit would have been a double against most right fielders, but Jason Hayward's really good out there, and he saved a leadoff double for Darvish.
You just gotta hope that this part of the lineup is prepared for you, Darvish, and especially going around again. I'm just seeing now that that Joyce, man, he got good contact on that.
So now Ryan is way behind. So yeah, it was almost like guarding the track over there. Hayward, what are you playing over there? Anyway, So Rojas is up now.
Yeah.
Boy, the umpire is giving the pitchers the top of the zone because Darvish just threw a cutter that was a solid inch or two up, and it was a called strike. Well, Miggy Rowe got a hold of
double.
Yeah, it's going to be a double. Safe.
Oh my goodness! Timely.
Yeah. Hey, listen, that's two hard knocks in a row. I mean, Joyce was
Good point. They're making contact.
Yeah, Rojas, that was solid contact. I mean,
oh, he might be out. They're looking at it.
ooh.
That tag.
Well, the key here, obviously, they called him safe.
Yeah, so it's got to be like obvious to overturn.
Yeah,
but they might, judging by as a objective view, I think he got him before he touched the base.
He might have.
I hope not. Please no.
Good play by Schwarber though. He got that rebound really fast, and I mean just watching it live, it looked like he was out, but great play by Kyle Schwarber. His defense is not his main point.
He's not known for it. He heard you talking about him earlier.
I know. Here I have him. I was making fun of him, and now he's mad at me. Okay, that was a great throw in the air. Bodie got it.
Does Mickey Rowe get his middle finger touching the bag there right before? I mean,
it's too close to change. I think
too close to call.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why it's really important that they called him safe.
Right. Man, and they're in Chicago, so who knows?
It doesn't matter. They go to New York, and I mean, it's close. That second.
Oh, he's out. He's out.
You called him out?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet.
All right. Well, you can't get mad at Miggy Rojas for trying. You really can't.
Yeah, listen, you have to try and, I mean, yeah, you like that aggression. I mean, you would, yeah. I don't have a problem with him trying to stretch that into a double.
When it's the bottom of the lineup like that, you have to take chances because you have Sierra behind him, and you need to base it. You need to get on the board somehow. And now I think they're going to start playing that small ball at this point. One run's going to win the game, it seems like.
It feels like it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the good thing is, a couple hitters in a row. I mean, even though it didn't really produce anything, a couple hitters in a row with solid contact. So maybe Darvish is, his focus or his control is maybe loosening a little bit.
Right.
It took a little while for the Marlins hitters to get going against Hendricks in game one. So, hopefully we're seeing a similar sort of turnaround here for the offense.
Yeah, you kind of want to see Sierra get on base, even if they don't get a run, because then you got Wallach. You don't want him starting an inning off, really.
Yeah, no, 100%. If he can get on, and then Darvish is at 57 pitches, I think, at this point. So you'd like to
58.
Throw a few more here in the fifth.
Yeah.
Not that. I'm sure that he'll continue to pitch well into this game if he's rolling.
He's definitely allowed to throw at 120 if he has to, because again, this is an elimination game, and if he's hot, they'll keep him in.
Yeah. The only way they go to the bullpen is if the Marlins touch him up.
Right.
Yeah. But. And listen, like, to go back to Miggy Rowe's play, actually to go back to your point, Alejandro, you absolutely run on Kyle Schwarber. Like, it took a great defensive play.
Yeah.
Fielding the ball, making a great throw. It took a great play.
They were lucky because the ball rebounded so hard. Over there with the gravel over there, it's just the ball stays there and drops. This ball was rocked and hit the ball and it bounced and he got it and shot it right to second base. So a little bit of luck there for them too. It was a great play, but also a little bit of luck that the ball rebounded so hard from the wall.
Yeah, right. Off the bat, it looked like a double for sure. And then it must have hit a spot on that wall without Ivy, and to create that ricochet.
Hey, but Sierra's having a good at bat. He's working them. He's up to 60 pitches now. And that's all you can really ask for from Sierra, really. I mean, if he can get 7 or 8 pitches from Darvish or just get a walk somehow, okay, he's just continuing his at bat. So that's pretty solid. That's all you can ask for right now. Tire him out.
Yeah. Yeah, and if he can get on base, I mean, he's another threat to run.
Yeah, exactly. And then he steals, and then you have Wallach, somehow with a base hit. I mean, we've seen timely hits from him.
Yeah. No, listen, if Sierra gets on base, he scores on any extra base hit. Like, he'll score on a double from first.
Yeah.
So, and even with 2 outs, he'd be moving on any contact, right? So, if he can get on base here, and Wallach can, I mean, even with a single, depending on where it is, like, Sierra can fly. So.
Oh, all right. Yeah, he's working them. Just keeps working them. It's 3-2 count. Fouling balls off. You got to like that from Sierra. That'll give him some more at-bats in future games.
Listen, before his injury, when he was in the lineup, he was actually really, really good at making contact on pitches in the zone. He didn't whiff very often, and certainly not on pitches inside the strike zone. He was making contacts relatively consistently. So, we're seeing some of that here.
Well, sorry to tell you. He strikes out. He strikes out.
That was a pitch.
So that's 4.5 innings, 63 pitches for you, Darvish, and no runs for the Marlins. This seems just like the other game, right? That game one, it was like this. It was a pitching duel. Then the Cubs got a run, and the Marlins came up with a couple of home runs. And we'll see. We'll see now. We have Sixto Sanchez. I mean, this is the pitching duel that we were expecting. We know Darvish is not great in the playoffs, but I mean, he does have some experience, and
Right.
he's been there. He's been at the World Series. We know this Marlins lineup is not one that is gonna just roll over you like with a ton of runs. So, I mean, it's been fun too, and they got somehow lucky because if Joyce's ball drops and Miggy Rose contact, that would have been a run there. And
Yeah.
I mean, that's defense. That's why the game's so fun, right? Because you have all these little details. I mean, it could have been a run in this inning.
Yeah, for as close as the Cubs were to scoring a run, I mean, Contreras not moving as quickly as maybe he should have with that contact, and then it took a great throw from Joyce. I mean, just like that one, it took a nice defensive play from Hayward to rob Joyce of a double, and then it took a great throw, like a great defensive play and throw by Schwarber to save another double for sure.
This is where you miss Starling Marte the most, you know, when your offense is not moving, working, and you could count on him always to get on base. It seemed like when we had him. I don't mean to like add insult to injury, but it would be interesting to see if he gets a pinch hit or something, just to see, maybe just to get a walk somehow, you know, work the count.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine. But you're right. His losing him in this lineup. I mean, for as you know, for as much potential as Sierra has, once he's on base, I mean, you feel so much better with Marte in the lineup, with his production, with his ability to hit, with his experience. I mean, he was one of the few Marlins that has consistently hit well against Darvish in the past. I mean, coming into this game, Marte was 4 of 11 with a double and a homer against Darvish. The only Marlin that was better than that was Dickerson, who's 5 for 13 with a homer and 2 doubles. You know, so
okay. We'll see him next time.
Yeah, it looks like we're gonna hope that Dickerson bails us out here because the rest of the Marlins lineup doesn't have a ton of success against Darvish, and we're seeing it here today. With the way that he's controlling this game.
They also have let's look at the options they have in the bench because that's something that can come up with especially with a lot of hitters towards the end of the lineup that can be replaced. Let's see who the Marlins have today available. They have Alfaro, who's a great option there.
Yeah.
Luis Brinson, Jazz Chisholm, Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz también it's a good option there. Starling Marte, who we don't know if it's gonna be able to swing the bat very well, and Monte Harrison. Those are the options that the Marlins have on the bench there.
Hey Ryan, you said earlier that the play by Joyce reminded you of that the Pudge Rodriguez Jeff Cleveland play. The Marlins communications, they just tweeted out that Matt Joyce recorded only the second outfield assist at home plate in Marlins postseason history. The first one was the one that you were talking about.
Right.
All right,
so we haven't seen it much in Marlins postseason baseball, so pretty cool.
Yeah. That was a great moment in Marlins history for sure. So Sixto's back.
Both times we saw the Giants. Yeah. He got one out already. Fly ball to right field.
Yeah. I mean, let's see. I would love to get a bounce back inning from him, a shutdown inning from him. Oh, look at that! It hit Mickey Rose, hit like the door out there. But yeah, bounce back inning, a shutdown inning here from Sixto. The Marlins got a couple of solid contact. Hopefully if they can roll the offense out there quickly again, they'll be in some business.
Do you think if Wallet doesn't, let's say he has a bad at bat, do you think he gets replaced for Alfaro if it's like a double switch if Sixto is out of the game, or is it, you know if that's possible?
It's always a gamble when you replace your catcher, because if you pull Wallach from the game and then God forbid Alfaro gets hurt,
Oh wow, yeah.
At that point you're going to an emergency catcher. I don't even know who the emergency catcher is.
It's probably Joyce because he plays everywhere. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or maybe Birdie.
Maybe Birdie, right?
Kyle Skipworth is there just hanging out in the stands.
I know Sean Rodriguez was their emergency catcher for a while, but he's not on the playoff roster. So
base hit from Schwarber, or no, Carantini. Carantini got a base hit.
Yeah, Victor Caratini. All right. So let's go check this. Let's see what was the exit velocity of that one. 100, almost 106 from that base hit.
Yeah.
And looking forward, let's say we see the Braves in the next series, with a win, whether it's today or tomorrow. Let's say it's today. So Pedro would pitch game 1. Who do you think would pitch game 2 for the Marlins?
I would imagine it would be Pablo in game 1, and then Sandy in game 2.
Okay.
That would be my. But it would depend on the amount of time between starts, right? But I would imagine it would Sandy would go either game 2 or game 3 if it's if it's not 5 days after Sandy's last start, then maybe we see Trevor Rogers. But again, it's hard to imagine them going to an unproven rookie like Rogers. I mean, they did it today with Sixto, so what do I know? But
yeah, they're different.
I would imagine, my guess would be, as long as it lines up from like a calendar perspective, Pablo and then Sandy in game 1 and game 2, and then either Sixto or Trevor Rogers for game 3 at that point.
Huge moment in the game here. Man on first and second, and 1 out, and Anthony Rizzo's coming up to the plate. It's going to be Rizzo, Contreras, and Schwarber coming up. So this could be a very important inning. What happened, Latin? What happened?
About what? Oh, it didn't happen yet.
You're like,
I got one ball only. That's it towards Rizzo. But I don't like that Rizzo's batting right now. I really don't.
Yeah, the game day, MLB game day, is ahead of me. So they just threw called strike up there, but now I just saw a called strike.
Yeah, it's 95 mile an hour. So he's losing a little bit of his velocity. Rizzo makes a lot of money. He's got he's got to do something here.
Yeah, ground ball.
Oh wow! It's foul, but he hit one pretty far.
Yeah, he did.
You know what happened every time you go after a foul ball like this, right? You strike out.
Strike out.
I'll take it.
He's gonna want to create that same hit and then just whiff.
So this would be a good moment for that changeup that we were talking about earlier. I don't know if he doesn't have the feeling for it. Yeah.
It looks like Rizzo's choking up the way Corey Dickerson does.
Yeah.
He went with the heater, and he missed way high.
Way high.
Hey, so guys, Jesus Sanchez, Luan Diaz. Strikeout?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but it looks like gameplay's ahead of us.
It is a game.
Oh, yeah. He did strike out. Very nice. Swinging. All right.
What were you saying, Ryan?
So out of these guys on our roster right now, Luan Diaz, Jesus Sanchez, Monte Harrison, I don't know if I want to include Lewis Brinson, but I guess we will. Who do you think has the brightest future out of those 4 guys? I mean, and then we have Jazz. Jazz is a different guy, so I'm not going to include him. But out of those 4, and then who do you think will get the most playing time, in the next year or so?
So I guess from that specific group, I mean, Brinson has been, impressive here to in the second half of the year. But again, he's a little older. He's a little bit ahead of those other ones. I would imagine Brinson's probably on this roster moving forward.
Right.
But the one that I'm most excited of that group that you mentioned, Luan Diaz, I think, is the one that will really sort of break out from that group. He's a great defender. He's got a sweet swing. He's lefty. He's got power. And then you look at our first baseman, Jesus Aguilar and Garrett Cooper. One of those guys can be a DH. And then you need production. I mean, Cooper could even go into the outfield if need be. So I think Luan Diaz has a spot. I mean, he's on the playoff roster. Like
Right.
they could use him, I think. And then you hope that Monte can figure it out. But
All right, this might be Sixto's last inning. He just plunked this dude.
Contreras.
yeah.
So it's bases loaded, and it's Schwarber hitting now with the bases loaded. Sixto is at 83 pitches already. That's about the count they used this year for him. That's around the number that they let him throughout the year. Just about 85 pitches. So this is probably the last at bat. Let me see who.
Contreras, he didn't really get out of the way of that pitch. I mean, he was doing that before too. He turns into the pitch, and kind of leaves his arm out there. He's got that big brace on his elbow.
Right.
I noticed that in his last at bat too. He definitely turned. I mean, he's turning. So you're saying that he's trying to get out of the way, right? Because the hitter can't go into the pitch, but He didn't make much of an effort to get out of the way of that pitch, and it looked like he was throwing his shoulder out there, and it worked to his advantage, I guess. But this is a big spot for Sixto, and
this is the biggest at bat, right now or biggest pitch. I mean, at bat, I would say for Sixto's career right now. If he can get out of the inning, there's no ERA. It's still pretty.
And then you have Bryant, and then maybe Hayward. So this could be it. You have Mel Stoudemire going out there and talking to the guy. I mean, it's been a good day for him, but he struggled in the last couple of innings. So like we said earlier, this might be it for him. 5 innings, and then you get a rested bullpen to try to finish the game. But this is a huge spot. This is a playoff at bat right here. This is what you want. 2 outs and bases loaded.
I wish we could have the audio just blaring for us. And the fans just
that
place is so loud right now.
Wild right now, yeah.
He almost hit Schwarber with the first one. So,
oh boy.
Yeah, high and tight.
Yeah,
we have James Hoyt in the bullpen.
Yeah, he's been one of their better relievers, particularly in the second half of the year. You got to imagine. You got to think that this is Sixto's last hitter, one way or the other.
For sure. Oh, sky high. Foul out of the stands behind home plate. Okay.
Oh.
You gotta love Wallach's hair until he takes his cap off, and you're like, "Whoa, hey!"
It looks great with the hat on, right?
Yeah. This is huge at bat in Marlins history. I'm never gonna forget this. I will never forget this, guys. This moment. I'm here with Alejandro and David. Bases loaded, 2 outs.
Here we go.
All right. Working that count. 1 and 2. 1 and 2.
He went with the changeup, so he's probably gonna go high heat again.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully he's got some control over it. The last couple have been a little all over the place.
Yeah, the pitch he struck Rizzo out with was that same fastball up that Schwarber fouled back a couple of pitches again. So that he's probably going that way again. He doesn't have the feeling for the slider, right? Because these are the type of the at bats. Like this is the type of bat that you should go to the changeup and then maybe slider outside, way outside. But how many has you thrown today? Not many. 6 sliders.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember.
I wonder if the cold has anything to do with that.
Ooh.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
It's-
Don't say it. But I'm gonna be clapping, I think.
Gameplay is already on a commercial.
All right. So just
That's a fly
brief
ball to left field.
Dickerson. Hey, congrats, guys. Congrats. I'll take it.
Woo!
We did it.
That was
Woo!
out of that big
We got out
spot.
of that one. So that will probably it. We have the pitch count here. It's 88
He's done.
pitches already. 65 fastballs. He attacked the hitters entire game. Only 11 changeups, only 6 sliders, and 6 sinkers. So his stat line to probably finish this game is going to be 5 innings. Awesome 5 innings because they didn't score any runs. And it's going to be 4 hits, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. It's Sixto night, right? So there you go.
I like
5
it.
innings. And we'll see. It probably Hoyt is coming for the 6th inning straight away. They're probably not going to mess with that. So
Yeah, Hoyt has been solid.
Yeah, Yimi Garcia too has been pretty awesome for us.
Yeah, Yimmy's been great, but I would imagine Mattingly's going to hang on to him for as late in the ball game as possible.
Right. Yeah, especially in this game like this where it can go into extras, you're gonna need your best guys for later on.
Yeah.
Have you guys spoken about Brandon Kinsler recently? Because man, just to come in and not give a Heath Bell type of a season to us, I can't thank him enough because nobody knew Kinsler coming on the season who he even was. And then he starts. He maintained. I don't think we've ever had until remember Benitez or Marno Benitez or something. But we've never had a closer start and finish the entire season. With the Marlins, I can't think of anybody like that.
Yeah, it's been a long time since they've had a consistent closer that went, from start to finish throughout the year for sure. But he's been one of the best pickups. I mean, he's been a leader in that clubhouse. He helped the pitching staff quite a bit, and he's come through at the back end of the bullpen. He converted, I think it was 12 of his 14 save opportunities. I mean, he locked down game 1, even though it wasn't a save opportunity, 4-run game.
Right.
He's been huge. He's been a huge addition. Down the line, I would imagine maybe Yimi becomes the closer moving forward. His stuff is a little bit harder. So maybe Yimi takes over as closer a year from now.
Wow.
But Kinsler's been great, and he's been a welcome addition, especially considering some of the terrible closers that we've had in recent years, like Heath Bell, and I mean so many others. So many others. Yeah. But if they get him in this game, I mean that's a good sign. The Marlins, when they are leading late in games, when they're leading after 7 innings,
31-0.
30-0, yeah.
Okay.
I
heard that stat. 5 reasons.
Yeah. And then, tied after 6 innings, they were 2-3 this year.
Okay.
Tied after 7 innings, they were 1-2. So they can go kind of either way, I guess. But hopefully, we're gonna get to Yu Darvish here in the next inning or two, so that the bullpen can really lock this down and the team can advance.
Now, I know we've kind of accepted that Sixto's out for the game, but you think any chance he comes back in? You normally when you haven't given up a run, you can at least go 6 innings.
Yeah, but I think it's a combination of the pitch count number 1 being at 88, and then he's struggled over the last 2 innings. Multiple runners on, high leverage situations. So I think at this point it might be time to go to the bullpen. I would be surprised if Mattingly came out again with him, but it is the playoffs, and he's
arguably their best pitcher. I know he's out of gas though. I know. Just saying.
He's lost a little bit on the fastball. I mean, still he's throwing 97 instead of 100. But
I mean, you could bring him to face only Bryant. That could be an option.
Okay.
but I don't know. Knowing the way the Marlins have worked with him this year after 88 pitches, that's it. That's the limit for him right now.
That might be his season high. Like I don't know what the official numbers were. But maybe he threw a little bit more in that 7-inning complete game. But yeah, 88 pitches. It's a lot of pitches through 5 innings. So I would be surprised if they came back with him.
Okay, Dickerson's working. Foul ball is 0-2 count.
Yeah.
Whew. Getting nervous because we're a run away from leading, but the offense isn't doing much.
Yeah, but listen, this is what it was like. This is what it was like in Game 1. Offense was dead in the water, and then it came to life. Oh, they're showing the Bartman replay.
I'll never forget that, man. We were like out of that game. Like I was watching anyways. But I was like, okay, we're cooked. The Cubs have such a good roster. Derek Lee, Lou, whatever. But and then Alex Gonzalez was there with their shortstop. Also, we had Alex Gonzalez also, but they had Alex Gonzalez as their shortstop. But he made this fatal error too in that game.
Yeah, everybody blames Bartman, but it was, that error by Alex Gonzalez in that inning, that was the bigger play, I would imagine.
Yeah.
And
then Mordecai with the bases clearing double. It was just they just showed the play by
the error. Yep.
They were just waiting for that foul ball, right, from a lefty. They were holding up that tape. They're like, okay, throw it right now.
Yeah, they were waiting for the foul ball in that specific spot.
It's funny. I don't even think Bartman even got that ball. He should have.
No. Yeah.
But they won a World Series after the fact, so
Alex said he still has nightmares about that game. Alex is our Cubs friend.
Our resident Cubs fan.
Yes. Alex, if we win tonight or when we win today, you better come with us to watch the rest of the playoffs, all right? Don't be estranged after this.
And how unique is this that the Heat are in the finals, the Marlins are in the playoffs, and we're in our basements? Man, I want to be at these games.
Yeah, I know. It's listen, people make fun of the Miami market all the time, particularly with the Marlins, but I'm telling you that people would have come out to watch Sixto pitch. People would have come out to support this club. I mean, the playoff game would have been a sellout, so it's definitely bittersweet, right, to be missing some of this stuff. And obviously the AAA would have been going crazy for this Heat club,
For sure, man. And just like all the money that's lost in our city because of it. All the restaurants, travel, hotels. I mean, I work in hotel sales, so I'm feeling it, man.
I bet. We don't get South Beach to help us out against the Lakers. I mean, that would have been helpful, I think.
Amazing. Well, it seems though that the Heat are going to stay in that trajectory. Like they're going to be a second round and beyond team going forward. Seems like.
For sure. No, they're built the right way, And listen, the Marlins are building in a very similar way too. Like, they're investing in their young players. They're investing in that development, and you've seen that with the Heat for years, right? So it's nice to see another club do it. I mean, the Dolphins are kind of doing it too with their young talent. And their potential. I mean, the Dolphins have a tough game this week, right? Playing the Seahawks.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, it's an exciting time to be a South Florida sports fan. That's for sure.
For sure. And it's funny. I'd rather be a Dolphins fan than a Jets fan right now. I don't know if you saw that game last night.
Yeah.
They lost to a third-string quarterback who threw 3 interceptions. I mean, the quarterback did well, though. Ripon, he did really well. But, man, the Jets had opportunities. And, it was like a 4th and 1 like on inside their 25 or so, and they kicked the field goal instead of going for it, which gave them the lead, but they could have milked the clock after that. And Adam Gase is probably going to get fired.
It warms my heart to see the Jets lose and to see Adam Gase struggle. That's for sure. But the Marlins offense is continuing to struggle. They didn't do anything to Darvish.
Right
none whatsoever. That's the shutdown inning that I was hoping for from Sixto. I mean, he knifed through that lineup. I mean, you're starting to worry a little bit here about the offense, like we did the other day. I mean, we didn't push any runs across until the 7th, so we've got the 7th coming up next.
Late bloomer.
But
this is.
Do you think we get our retaliation in? Who do you think we plunk if you were to plunk anybody?
I can't plunk anybody right now. I don't want anybody on base. we can plunk him next year. That's fine.
Next year, all right. Or if we're up by 5, we're plunking.
Yeah, well, that's fine. Okay, so 77 pitches for Darvish, 6 innings already for you, Darvish. So he's gonna continue there.
Yeah.
Besides that inning when he got hit pretty hard, not just past inning, but the inning before, and then the inning before when he got a couple of men on base. Those were the two kind of opportunities that Marlins had. But other than that, he's been very dominant today. So
yeah, he's
up for him so far.
He's on track to finish this game. He's on track to go 9 innings. I mean, you look at that breakdown. He's throwing 6 different pitches. He's keeping the hitters off balance. You know, he's spotting his cutter really, really well, which is something that the Marlins batters they haven't been able to adjust to any of that stuff. You know, so he's looking sharp. Marlins have only scratched 2 hits off of him. You know, so it's a very similar game to Game 1. I mean, in Game 1, at this point, it was 1-0 Cubs after Ian Happ had taken Sandy deep. You know, so you gotta hope maybe this third turn through the lineup for the Marlins. I mean, Dickerson and Birdie, it didn't look great, obviously, but you know, Aguilar, Brian Anderson, Garrett Cooper coming up after that for them. I mean, none of them have looked particularly good. I mean, BA has struggled here over these 2 games, plus kind of towards the end of the year. But somebody's going to come up with a big hit.
Yeah, we have a new picture, guys. Is Brad Boxberger. So it's everything for Sixto Sanchez, like we were saying. After that last inning, Brad Boxberger this year, 1 win, no losses. The ERA of 3.00 in 23 games, 18 strikeouts in 18 innings pitched. He did struggle a little bit against the Yankees, right? In those last couple of outings when he got the first out of the inning, Chris Bryant flying out to left field, Corey Dickerson. So there's 1 out already.
And that was a nice connected too. That Chris Bryant hit. That was a nice hit.
Well, this has got to be a welcome sight for these Cubs hitters to go from somebody who was throwing 100 earlier to somebody who's like living around 90, 91, 92 miles an hour. So Boxberger's got to be really careful with that stuff. I mean, these guys are going to look to turn on one of these pitches. That's definitely what Chris Bryant was trying to do right there.
Yes, yeah, so look at where the pitch was. Very dangerous zone.
Yeah. He took a hack at that one. And he just missed it.
Right.
Does Boxberger have experience with the Rays in the playoffs, or does anybody know if he has any playoff experience?
No, he was with the Diamondbacks, but I don't think that it was when they were in the playoffs at any point.
Not really.
Yeah, the Marlins were limited in terms of, you know, the offensive or just the experience in general with the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know, but we'll see. I mean, hopefully the bullpen can shut down this lineup and that our offense can scratch something across. Because
Boxberger reminds me a lot of Nick Anderson, where you can rely on them. They're pretty solid middle relief, and they kind of look similar.
A little bit.
Boxberger, though, when he was with the Rays, I think he led the league in saves one year, or was up there. So he's had some success in this game.
Oh, he's definitely had some success. There's no doubt about it. He was, he had dropped off a little bit over the last couple years, but even like moving into that, he was absolutely very successful. And it's nice to see him have a bounce back year.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, boy. So do you think we see JJ Bleday next year?
You know what?
I don't think so.
It wouldn't surprise me, but I doubt it.
Maybe in September, late call up.
Yeah, he would have to. Looks like he got Hayward to fly out to left. I think JJ Bleday would have to just be on fire in spring training, and to really sort of steal that right fielder job. Because, I mean, you think about it, the outfield is actually a little crowded for the Marlins. Marte is going to be the center fielder. Yeah. Dickerson is going to be the left fielder, right, at least for next year. So right field is really the only one that's kind of up in the air. But you look at, you have Brinson, Monte Harrison, Harold Ramirez, Cooper probably will go back to right, but he has played in right. Magnus Sierra,
Jesus Sanchez.
Yeah, Jesus Sanchez. So Bleday is going to have some company over there trying to take over in right field. Right. But I'm kind of with Alejandro on that one. If he comes up, if he tears it up and in spring training and he shows that he's the elite level like hitting prospect that we've been missing, then he'll make the club. But otherwise, another year of seasoning for him, and then maybe a September call up at that point. But it would be nice to see one of these young hitters just start mashing like Soto and some of these other guys.
Yeah, right. I'm ready. Man, that's what we thought we were gonna get from like a Jesus Sanchez when he got called up. And then he was whiffing.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah. Now some of those young guys, they
by who? By Brinson?
Oh, no, I was saying Jesus Sanchez.
Yeah. I was just saying too that some of those young guys looked a little overmatched, so they need to make that adjustment and take the next step in their development for sure. Most of them will probably end up in the minors. Maybe Harrison wins a spot with the big club, but even Harrison, he could use, he has to adjust at the plate. He was way too inconsistent, way too many strikeouts. So, hopefully they can develop here.
All right, we got out of the inning, guys.
Yep, out of the inning. Nice job by Brad Boxberger.
Aguilar, Anderson, Cooper. Let's go.
Yep. Somebody's got to do something at this point.
I like Aguilar starting out the inning. He tends to rope the ball, get some good contact, and then he exploits the pitcher. Let's see if that can happen. Let's see if Darvish comes out there. I like a tired Darvish.
Yeah. Oh, it looks like Christian is tweeting from his college class, being a bad student. He just put something up on Twitter 4 minutes ago. So,
well, maybe he got out of class because he said it was at 3. So if it's an hour, 1 hour class.
That's true.
He might be on his way to the dorm.
That's cool.
Where is he going to school?
I think he's at UF.
Nice.
Yeah, but this game we need the offense to come through here.
This is it right here. We're not. The good thing is we're tied. That's the best part. And we'll go to extra innings as long as we have to. They haven't figured out the Marlins pitching and vice versa. But I think having this is, if you can't hit Darvish your third time around, then you're not an MLB player.
Yeah.
Let it go.
I mean,
we have some bad news. I'm sorry to interrupt, but Greg Sylvander of 5 Reasons is already confirming that Bam Adebayo is officially out for Game 2. So we're not gonna have Bam tonight. Too bad, man.
yeah, that's
We knew that was gonna happen.
yeah, that's a tough blow for the Heat. I mean, both of those injuries, like it's
not fair, almost not fair. Because then you had Marte earlier in the day, then he wore on at halftime. You saw Jimmy roll his leg, his ankle, and then Bam, man, and this is Bam's coming out party, and it got canceled.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, the Heat have their hand. I mean, they had their hands full going into it, fully healthy. But now, I mean, you're missing Goran, who's kind of like the engine for the whole offense in the bubble, and then Bam just taking it to another level at this point. I mean, it's going to be tough sledding against the Lakers team that I would imagine is going to be pretty focused. I mean, I don't think that LeBron wants to miss this opportunity to put up his 4th championship win. Because if he gets this one, I think the conversation about him and Jordan starts to change a little bit.
Yeah,
because
4 in 10 years, and then Jordan went 6 for 6. I think LeBron has the longevity, and he's gonna break all of Jordan's records at some point. So we'll leave it there.
Yeah, he needs this. He needs at least this championship, to really cement it. Because if he goes 3-7 in the finals, that's an ugly number. Even if he's been there 10 times.
Right.
Marlins have their hands full here too with Yu Darvish. I mean, he's been so good today for the Cubs. Obviously, this is not the Yu Darvish that has struggled in the postseason in the past.
Right.
He's locked in here pretty much today.
You gotta like a tired Yu Darvish though. I think Aguilar is feeling him out. Darvish is a little scared to pitch to Aguilar.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so. I mean, he's been in the zone a lot. 57 of his 79 pitches have gone for strikes.
1 and 2.
Yep.
Do you think? What do you think about? Is Aguilar on a 1-year deal? I'll check. But
I think so. Yeah.
I guess my point is, like, he's earned himself a nice little contract if he's on a 1-year deal. Somebody will pay him.
They got him on the waiver claim, so they may have taken over whatever contract he had with the Rays. I'm not sure the year on it, but
yeah, 1 year. It's a 1-year deal.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's in line. He's in line for a little payday, and I would imagine the Marlins are going to want to bring him back.
He just struck out.
Yeah, he strikes out at this day. The Marlins want to bring him back. The one thing that might change that, and again, he's been great this year. He's been consistent. He's been a leader. He's been a great presence in the clubhouse. The one thing that you wonder is, do they want Luan Diaz in the lineup every day?
Yeah. Those guys need to get hot, and then you bring them up. They can't just be lukewarm. Batting 270, whatever, and then expect them to hit 330 in the majors.
Yeah. Man, Brian Anderson does not look comfortable at the plate.
No, he should have bunted. He should have bunted when we had a guy on second. I'm not giving that up, man. I'm pissed.
You're going to stick to that.
I mean, if he's struggling, I guess you could hit, swing through a slump, but my goodness, man. Playoff baseball, you gotta get manufacture those runs.
That would have been a surprise if he would have tried to lay down a bunt in that spot. That would have been a surprise.
Definitely, yeah.
Man, Darvish is not giving him anything. He just painted. He went from painting the top right corner to the bottom left corner on successive pitches. I mean, Brian Anderson's head has to be spinning at this point.
Let's go BA. Infield. Ooh, out. Damn. I called him out, but that was close.
It was close, but I think it was the right call. That little chopper. BA is unfortunately slipped into one of those slumps. When you're talking about two frontline pitchers in Kyle Hendricks and Yu Darvish, that'll do even to the best hitters, right? But at this point, this Marlins offense is going to need something to happen. 2 hits through 6 2/3 innings. That's less than ideal, obviously.
Yeah, it's kind of scary though, because let's say we escape the Cubs, your offense isn't going to be able to keep up with the Braves, because the Braves are going to score.
Yeah, that's the other side of it, right?
So we got to get things flowing. We got to find out who. Cooper is supposed to have a big bat. BA's got to have a big bat. Aguilar, we lost Marte, but those guys need to be going. Gets 2 hits in a game, at least some of them. But like you said, credit to the pitching, credit to their pitching, Cubs pitching.
Yeah, they've been great, but you worry about that matchup. That's the obvious disadvantage going into Atlanta. The Marlins have great starting pitching, but average to below average offensive production. The Braves have above average offense, they have a great lineup, and then their pitching has been good enough, So you worry about that obviously moving forward. Tonight, they've got to figure out a way to put a run on the board. Tomorrow, if they have to face Leicester doesn't pose the same daunting task as Hendricks and Darvish. So you look at that and you kind of think, hey, that could be beneficial for the offense, but the opportunity to take this game is right there. The opportunity to win this series is right there.
Here, Cooper, come on.
Wait, am I reading that right on the gameplay?
It says 1-0, so it's a home run by Garrett Cooper.
Yes.
You got one.
Yes.
One.
Loop.
We've been waiting for it. Hey,
high five right here.
That's what we've been waiting for. That's what we've been talking about, right? It's just somebody's got to get the big hit, and did it.
Those are our big hitters. Let's go. I want to jump with those guys. Woo.
You were saying that Cooper's got the big bat, and he just showed it off for you right there, Ryan.
I know, man. He has some timely hits, and that was his biggest hit of his career right there.
Yeah. Far and away. He had, against the Yankees to clinch the playoff spot, he hit the big 3-run homer early in that game.
Right.
Here he comes through with another huge hit. That homer, just like yesterday's game, in the 7th inning, they break through against the Cubs starters with a long fly ball to left field. That Darvish knew it too, right off the bat.
And you gotta like it, man. Like I said, a tired Darvish is a different player. But if they're starting to connect now off of him, this will be his last inning, of course. But if they can get a couple more runs this inning, now you could cement this game. But a one run lead is not that safe. But Marlins pitching so far flawless.
Yeah, right. You would like to get at least one more run here, so that one swing of the bat doesn't change the game completely.
It was a hanging me, bang me slider, 104 miles an hour out of the bat of Garrett Cooper, and it went 370 feet towards left field, and that's 1-0 for the Marlins. Here we go.
Yeah, what's interesting here, that was a slider. Has he relied a lot on the slider? He's been a lot of cutters, four-seamers. So it was interesting that, he was in control of that at bat.
Oh, here we go. It drops. All right. This looks like it could be 3. It could be 3 for Joyce.
No, he's not that fast.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he stops.
You have to bring an Uber or something.
Listen, although if it was any one of the other outfielders, maybe not Dickerson, but any one of the other guys, that he's probably on third. But, it's look, Darvish has thrown just the 15 sliders, and he made him. That wasn't even that bad of a pitch to Cooper. Cooper just got a hold of it.
Yeah, it was a little more in that I suspect the catcher was expecting it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
I mean,
Wow.
Ian Happ gave it
They
his
smell
all.
blood. Marlins
Yeah.
smell blood. You got to pull Darvish now. You got to pull
Oh
him.
look, that we're seeing a pinch runner here. I think, unless Joyce was just walking over to talk to
That'd be interesting.
to
Monte maybe, or Brinson. Maybe Monte.
Yeah, I mean either one really. Joyce is pretty good defensively, but he just doesn't have the speed that the other guys have. So I wouldn't be surprised
With
if
2 outs though. I don't know if you bring a pinch runner in.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's a pinch runner. Right now.
No, I guess he was just walking over to yeah. He must have just been talking.
Oh
to
no, they are. It's
They
Brinson.
did. Oh, they did. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Brinson. All right.
Yeah, Brinson is in it, but that's Mattingly's been doing this a lot. He goes with the defensive upgrades out there, so I wouldn't be surprised if Monte Harrison ends up in the field later. I don't know that he'll pinch hit for Dickerson, but he'll definitely have a replacement. And it looks like they have intentionally walked Miguel Rojas. So now it's runners at first and second with 2 outs here for Magnus Sierra. That's just for the force outs, I would imagine.
Yeah.
And
also,
Darvish.
it got to the hole. Oh,
Nice. Brinson's going to score.
Yes, he's in.
Brinson scores easy.
Let's go, Marlins.
The Sierra coming through in the clutch. The Cubs chose to pitch to him instead of Miguel Rojas, and he comes through with a huge base hit to the right side. Yeah, they had their infield in. They were playing their infield in. Rizzo was on the grass. I think thinking maybe I can't imagine he was thinking a bunt there, but Rizzo was definitely playing in, and Sierra was able to shoot it past him to drive in a huge run there for the Marlins. I mean, that changes a lot moving forward.
Yeah, dude, my cheeks are burning because I'm smiling too much. This is really, really exciting. This is very exciting. You got to know, and man, they had to pull Darvish there. After the home run, after the double, that means they're seeing him. They're seeing him.
Yeah.
And that's what we kind of spoke about, where this guy's tired, and after you give him a couple of big hits, you have to take him out, man. This game's too important. This game is way too important.
And I think that was the slider as well. I mean, he threw it again, and another time the slider didn't work, and there you go. It's 2-0, and Craig Kimbrell is coming in for the Cubs.
Our old fool. Now, listen, Kimbrell really struggled to start the year. I mean, really, really struggled to start the year. But in September, he pitched way, way better for the Cubs. I don't think he gave up a run in September, but his ERA, I can pull it up here real quick. His ERA was not something that the Cubs were happy about. And they don't officially have a closer. I mean, they kind of went back and forth between Kimbrell and Jeffries throughout the year, so they didn't list an official closer per se, but he was definitely one of their main back end guys, and his ERA for the year. Let me pull it up.
Okay, Robert Diaz says, we scored in the 7th inning in game 1. Yes, we called it, and you were here with us, Robert. So thank you. We're back, and we scored again in the top of the 7th, and now it's the bullpen's time to do the rest of the work. But if we get one more here, that would be awesome too. So
yeah, that would be great.
Why not? Why not us?
Kimbrell, yeah, definitely. Kimbrell had a 5.28 ERA for the season. So obviously that's definitely not what we expect from him, especially knowing him for so long with the Braves and things like that. I mean, but in his last I don't know, The last time he gave up a run, it was August 29th. And so he had, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 appearances in September, and he didn't give up a run in September. So,
Okay.
He's
finding his form.
Yeah, he sorted himself out, but that was a huge hit there by Mag Sierra to get the Marlins ahead.
And it justifies starting him completely.
Yeah, definitely. It justifies Mattingly's choice to start him. What's interesting, Ryan, you had mentioned, David Ross should have pulled Darvish. This is Ross's first year as a manager, so you wonder if, some of that uncertainty. I mean, he was a player for such a long time, so maybe he wanted to be, a player's manager or whatever, let Darvish work out of it. But, that was a big spot, and the Marlins came through. Now it's Chad Wallach against Craig Kimbrell.
And you got to like it. That means at the top of the lineup the next go-around. So Marlins in good shape. Now, like you mentioned, our bullpen has to take over. I wonder if they let if Boxberger comes back, or if they're gonna maybe put Garcia in.
I doubt Boxberger comes back. I mean, at this point, for the Cubs, they've got a couple lefties in the lineup, but we still have Richard Blyer, we still have James Hoyt, Yimi Garcia. I think all of those guys are options here in the 7th. But I can't imagine he's going to go back to Boxberger. Boxberger did his job in the 6th, so I would imagine it's going to be one of those other guys moving forward.
Wow. The celebration is going to be interesting. Also, I don't want to talk too soon, but that field, when we clinched the playoffs, Kimbrel ends the inning, but when we clinched the playoffs, you saw that celebration at midfield. I want to see that again. Oh man.
Yeah.
Every time they go to Wrigley Field, something like that happens. So.
Those fans really hate us.
Yeah.
There's no lie.
The Cubs have Bodie, Caratini, and Ian Happ coming up. So they I think they're all right-handed hitters.
Caratini, switch.
Yeah, Ian Happ is a switch hitter too. So, it'll be interesting to see if Mattingly goes with Blyer just to flip those guys to the other side, since Blyer's a lefty. Blyer's really the only lefty that he seems to trust. I mean, we also have Stephen Tarpley out there, but I don't know that Mattingly will put Stephen Tarpley into this game.
They should bring out Boxberger again, man. I think that was a great inning on his behalf. With all respect, I know you want to switch it out, but I mean, if he's not giving up a hit, why not bring him back?
Yeah, I think Mattingly is not one of those guys that brings pitchers for a second inning. So So I get your point, but I don't think he's gonna do it. I think he's gonna just stay with the plan. Don't go too crazy and stay with the plan.
Yeah, I'm interested to see who he brings in here, because the Cubs do have some left-handed bats in this lineup, right? Rizzo's a lefty, Schwarber's a lefty, Jason Hayward's a lefty. So he might want to save Blyer to deal with one of those guys. I would imagine Blyer gets up and ready just in case whoever else comes in runs into some trouble. But I'm interested to see where he goes.
For now, I mean, he could face one hitter and then give the ball to somebody else. That could be another option.
Yeah. Boxberger already went by the 3-batter minimum, so.
I think they're still gonna put him out there. He only threw 12 pitches, which is pretty solid. It's cruising. We'll find out. Find out next time.
The next episode of Marlins Live.
Marlins playoff baseball.
We'll see. Defensive switch, Louis Brinson. Okay.
Yeah.
Remains in the game as a right fielder. I think they're going to stay with Boxberger, at least for this batter.
Told you.
Yeah.
It was too solid, man. And he's a veteran. You know, you want to get the veterans out there, especially in the playoffs.
Yeah, he
you don't
threw
want-
only 12 pitches. So
Yeah. This is too big of a moment to bring in a rookie.
Yeah. Well, at this point, Mattingly's probably going to go with like the mix and match approach. You know, so when some of these, if one of these lefties comes up with runners on, Richard Blyer is going to be in this ball game. There's no doubt in my mind.
They haven't shown the bullpen yet, so we're waiting for that to appear in our screens to talk about the possibilities. But yeah, like you said, they only have one, so if you use him now, you wouldn't have him for maybe a later stuff. But I mean, this is a very important inning, a shutout inning after the 2 runs.
Yeah,
definitely key to win this game.
Yeah.
Did you guys see Lewis? Did you see Lewis Brinson do that snot rocket right now?
Yeah.
That's gonna be on Twitter. You'll see it. I won't get it, but it'll be there.
Yeah, you got to imagine, you know, Yimi Garcia will get the 8th and Kinsler will get the 9th. You know, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes through the 7th inning here.
Yeah.
I would imagine if Boxberger gets into even a little bit of trouble, Mattingly's going to
play. Yeah, he'll have a short leash against the 2nd inning.
Here's the homer for all of you that didn't watch it. Let's go back. Thanks to the
right. We got the out. We got the out. Pop up to right.
Yep.
Whew. And it's funny. The Cubs were the jackasses that left their pitcher in too long.
Yeah, they. I mean.
That's look. Boxberger. Yeah, one guy.
Is it Blyer? Yeah, it's Blyer. So Blyer's coming out to face Caratini, and he has to face at least Caratini and Happ.
Okay.
So he's gonna flip Caratini to the right side. He's gonna flip Happ to the right side. If he gets them both, then you know that'll be the end of the inning, and Mattingly can go with Yimi. If not, if one of them gets on, he'll have to face Rizzo as well because of the 3-batter minimum.
So Blyer's coming for his 2nd appearance in the postseason.
Yeah.
And
he came in game 1. He threw 1 pitch.
Yeah, 1 pitch he got the out. Yes, right.
1 pitch.
You're right. He got that out in that first game, and well, his 2020 stats: 1 win, 1 loss, 2.16 ERA, 21 games, only 16.2 pitches, and 11 strikeouts. So he's our next guy up.
Yep, he's been good this year. I mean, this is a credit to Michael Hill and the front office, the scouting department. They were able to find guys like Blyer and James Holt. Yeah, and he filled out the roster with these guys. That bullpen got decimated by COVID, and it's a credit to them that they found these guys. I mean, Josh A. Smith was pretty good, you know. So you like what they were able to do with that, and then Blyer obviously he produced. I mean, he's a local guy. He grew up down here in South Florida. I know that the Marlins were interested in him in the off season. I mean, he was with the Orioles. There were some talks, so he was on their radar prior to this season and prior to like the COVID outbreak. So it's not like they just randomly grabbed this guy, but he's been one of the better pickups for this group, and he helped, settle that almost like that lefty specialist role. I mean, they're not really lefty specialists anymore because you have to pitch to at least 3 batters, but he was definitely matchup dependent. Looks like we've got a pinch hitter for another former Marlin buddy of ours. Cameron Maben is up there batting for Caratini.
That is so weird.
Yeah.
He won a World Series with the Astros, So he's got that he's been there before.
Yeah, I mean he's made a nice living as a major league player. Like he, for as terrible as he was in his first run with the Marlins,
Yeah.
he's part of that Miguel Cabrera trade that was such an epic disaster.
Although Andrew Miller became good after he left the Marlins.
Yeah, listen, the two guys the two headline guys that came back for the Marlins, Maben and Miller, they ended up being really good major leaguers, just not for the Marlins.
Oh, nice. Oh, that is amazing.
Wow, Blyer took
That is amazing play, man.
That ball hit him hard. Alejandro, exit velocity, they just showed it, 100 miles per hour.
We can put it here on the screen.
Oh, man, where did it hit him in the head?
No, I think it hit him in the shoulder.
That's amazing to maintain that and
to make the play. I mean, he made a great
play. That's SportsCenter top 10 for sure.
Yeah.
Wow, and also the glove work by Cooper, who's making up for that error he had yesterday.
Yeah, Cooper.
Or the day before.
He did a nice job of picking it, and it's not like Maben is slow. Maben can run.
We're out the inning, guys. All right, 6 more outs. 6 more outs.
Yeah, look at that. Exit velocity, 100 miles per hour, and he got whacked with it. But you know what? He didn't throw that many pitches. I mean, he threw one pitch the other day. He threw 4 pitches here. I mean, unless he's hurt by that comebacker, I mean, he's going to be available in Game 3. God forbid something goes south in this one. But that was another great performance by Blyer. He's, like I said, he's been really, really solid out of the bullpen for the Marlins this year. I mean, it was really impressive the way that they rebuilt that bullpen, because it was the bullpen that got hit the hardest through the COVID outbreak. So they had to completely redo what was going on there. I mean, Kinsler was healthy. I'm not sure if any of the other relievers made it through. I think the rest of them, or most of them, got sick.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, he was almost bringing like a new bullpen.
Yeah, a completely new bullpen. Because Yimi got sick. Oh, Boxberger didn't get sick. Boxberger was there the entire time. So it might have been just the two of them, and then they turned over the rest of the bullpen. And Blyer was one of those pickups, and he came over in a trade with the Orioles. They didn't give up anything of value to the Orioles for that. And now I would imagine 8th inning belongs to Yimi, and then 9th inning belongs to Brandon Kinsler. And if they can lock it down, Marlins are advancing.
Oh, man. Playoff baseball. There's nothing like it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the fans aren't there, but, man, I think that's the biggest feeling, because seeing a packed ballpark for a Marlins game, it gives me like this strange feeling inside.
Yeah.
Too bad we don't get it. We're kind of sold short this year, but regardless, man, we're gonna have the best playoff winning percentage still.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, 6 more outs.
I mean, I think as a franchise, in our 2 postseason runs, we're 23-11, including the win the other day.
Okay.
And going into this game as a franchise, 6-1 in elimination games, with the only loss coming in Game 6 of the World Series in 1997. So, as a franchise, the Marlins, Alejandro said this a million times. I mean, they don't come to the playoffs just to be in the playoffs, right, Alejandro?
Yeah, that's their motto. Wilson Contreras is gonna catch now. They did something weird, which is taking the DH out of his role, and he's coming back to catch. So the pitchers at bat is going to come in the 9th spot where Maven just hit. So they're going to have Contreras catching, and they are going back to their roots, right, to the National League roots with the pitcher hitting. And of course, they're going to have pinch hitters for that. But in case it goes to extras or something, they're going to run out of hitters at some point.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point. I mean, that's the one thing that I guess, you know, that's where it kind of backfires using both your catchers in the
Yeah.
lineup.
I guess they could use Schwarber, but he hasn't catched in so long.
Yeah, but I mean, just using burning the DH like that. I mean, obviously we're talking about the 8th inning right now, so they're in pretty good shape. Like if they have to pinch hit in that spot, I mean, something has gone horribly wrong for the Marlins because that's that's like 6 or 7 batters away.
Yes.
So as long as the Marlin relievers can shut down what the Cubs are doing here, it won't even be an issue. But you're right; they're going to have to pinch hit for whoever is the pitcher at that point. Kimball's still out there with his weird setup.
But you got to like the top of the lineup being, in the 8th inning. So, we'll get some more insurance runs potentially. And if not, you kind of max out this, you max out Kimbrel because, he's going to be up against our best hitters pretty much. And right now Dickerson is working him. But I guess we're just looking to see who's pitching for Miami and try to blow through these guys already. We don't even want to see our hitters right now. We just want to see what's going to happen with their hitters.
I would feel a lot better with one more run, But even then, you're right. Like, listen, if they can make Kimbrel work here, maybe he becomes unavailable. God forbid if they end up losing this game.
Right.
But still, it's just a matter of execution at this point. Can the offense add to this lead? If not, the pitchers have to execute. Yimi Garcia and Brandon Kinsler. I mean, I would be surprised if he goes in any other way, unless, I mean, there's an option here, I guess, for Mattingly to leave Blyer in there for Rizzo, since Rizzo's left-handed, and that would be Blyer's third batter, so he could then change him out at that point. But my guess is he goes with Yimi to start the 8th, and then Kinsler for the 9th.
Or he could do the Blyer for one pitcher like how we do with Boxberger, it's easier when you only got to get 2 outs opposed to 3.
Yeah. I mean, right. So it's Rizzo and Rizzo's a lefty, and then Contreras, who's a right-handed hitter, and then Schwarber, who is a lefty. So, he could probably go with Blyer to start and have him face Rizzo. Rizzo struck out twice today, so a lefty-lefty matchup in that spot, and then Yimi comes in to take care of Contreras and Schwarber, and then Kinsler would then have Bryant, Hayward, and Baez in the 9th if it's 1, 2, 3. Dickerson is making him work.
Yeah.
I mean, he is sticking to that the nut curve there.
Do we bring out the pots and pans after a series win, or?
I mean,
you have to. You're at home, so you have no excuses.
Yeah, I mean, I live across the street from La Carreta, so I'll just go over there, even though they have a Miami.
You should go and report from there. We have it. You can take. What are you on your computer or your phone?
Right now on my laptop. Yeah.
Well, just run it out there.
Yeah, and we're here live. She just bought a croqueta, and how do you feel? Half off croquetas.
Yesterday was National Croquet the Croqueta Day here.
Yeah.
So it looks like Dickerson got on with a walk. He drew the walk.
That's good.
Yep.
Although we're just waiting. But yeah, man, this is pretty exciting. I'm pretty excited.
He made Kimbrel work. Kimbrel had to throw 11 pitches and he got the one. So now it's Birdie. Maybe we see a bunt attempt here from Birdie to move Dickerson into scoring position.
For sure. I would go for those type of bunts where you try to let it down and then you run, and if you're safe, that's fine. If not, you did your work. So It's one of those.
Definitely
Hey,
a bunt hit opportunity.
Yeah.
Here's a stat I think ESPN put out, but it says the Marlins are 20-0 all time when leading by multiple runs in the postseason.
That's awesome. That's a great stat. That's a great stat. I mean, listen, this season specifically, when they're leading after 7, they're 30-0. You know, so if they hold on to this one, they'll be 31-0, leading.
That stat is weird to me though, because what happens when they like Kinsler? He gives, he blows a save or something.
Yeah, he had a couple blowed saves. I mean, as a team, I think they blew 5 save opportunities, but they came back and they won those.
Right, yeah, he did win that game. I remember it was on a Sunday or a Saturday. It was like I was at the beach that day.
Yeah. Oh.
Stolen base for Monte.
Monte, that's why he's in the game. I mean, listen, he's the defensive replacement for Dickerson.
Okay.
And he is such a weapon on the base paths. If that kid ever becomes a consistent hitter, watch out.
Yeah.
Watch out, because he has all of the tools. I mean,
they didn't even throw the ball. That's how fast he was.
Yeah. Now Birdie absolutely has to lay down a bunt. Get a runner on third base with less
there
than.
It is.
Would you?
Yeah.
I will let him hit. I don't know.
No.
Listen, unless he pushes the ball to the right. I mean, if the ball can play to the right side of the infield, Harrison's getting to third. So as long as he's not trying to pull the ball, I mean, I'd be fine with it. But if you can lay down a bunt here, because he's got great speed too, force the defense to make a play.
Yeah, you got to drop that bunt. And it's a 2-0 count, so it's looking good in his favor. He's going to get a strike here, you would think. This is it. This is it. I like 3-0.
Yeah, he pulled the boot back, and oh boy, he got robbed there a little bit. I mean, look at number 3. That's right on the bottom of the zone. I wonder if Birdie kind of leaning over to bunt, and then the catcher popping up. Contreras popped up like he was going to throw to second base. I wonder if both of those affected the umpire's view of that pitch, because that pitch was right there.
I like this 3-0 right here. He walked him. Okay, that's interesting. Now you got to bunt again. You would think. Keep doing this.
I mean, it looks like Aguilar is coming up to the plate. I don't know how.
Can he bunt? Does he know how to bunt?
No, forget about it. He's gonna swing away.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna swing away. We're looking for. Listen, obviously a big hit here from Aguilar. An extra base hit, if he hits one into the gap, it's 2 runs. Birdie's scoring from first. If he can lift the ball into the outfield at the very least to advance Monte, the worry at that point would be you'd like to see him advance both runners, but that's going to be tough. Obviously with an out, with a fly ball, But yeah, I mean, this is a big spot here. An insurance run would make another insurance run or 2 would make all the difference in this ball game.
You saw the stat got put on TV?
Yeah.
Woo!
20-0 when leading by multiple runs in the postseason. That's incredible. That's incredible.
They just win postseason games. That's what they do.
I mean, within 17 years span. Crazy, man. I was in 11th grade in high school at the time.
When in 03?
Yeah. I remember like who I was dating, what I was doing, and it's amazing how long it's been.
Yeah. I was in college. Well, no, I had just graduated college. I had just graduated college not too long before that, and I was hanging out with a buddy of mine at his apartment watching the game. I've since gotten married, had 2 kids. Both of them are teenagers.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a lifetime since the last time the Marlins won it all. It's
yeah,
crazy.
I'm definitely a grown up now compared to when they weren't.
Well, listen, our guy Christian, who was in with us earlier, I think
Well, he wasn't alive.
yeah, he was like 2 years old or something, or 2 or 3 years old.
Yeah.
You know, he's definitely got no memory of that.
I was at Game 7, 97 World Series.
Oh man, I
You
wish.
were a baby or what?
I was in 5th grade,
That's awesome. That's awesome.
and we were playing baseball in my neighborhood that day. And then I got the call like, "Hey, you want to go?" And I was like, "Yeah."
That's great.
We were right by the Marlins bullpen for the, we had that pretty good seats, but they were $50 at the time. That was the ticket price.
Oh my God, it would be like $500 now.
Yeah, easily.
That's, you know what? I was in Kansas, like we talked about with Gertch, with my friend Zach, who's a Cubs fan. I'll call him right after this. I mean, I should send him the link, right? No, he really loves the Cubs.
He's not gonna be happy.
Yeah. Okay, something happened with Aguilar. He's out. Okay, so I wanted to go to the playoffs for the Royals. So the first round was like, I went to the wild card game. That one that they beat the Oakland A's with the Salvador double down the line, like in extra
innings. Into a double play.
There you go. So 2 outs, man on third. Every time Ryan says they have to bunt, they run.
This is the exact thing that happens. Ryan says they have to bunt. Instead, they hit into a double play.
Yeah. So
guys, it's not hard to be an MLB manager. I'm telling you, I got the tools.
Well, it's all right. So I went and looked over the prices for the division series, and they were like $350, the cheapest one, and then maybe the next one, and then the American League Championship, it was like $500 or $600, the cheapest one, and then the World Series was like $800 or $900. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna watch it from home.
Yeah, exactly. And just order a lot of food and a lot of drinks and save money.
Yeah, and that one they lost it to. That was a good contact. I'm just watching the play. It was a good contact, just straight to the shortstop.
Yeah,
and then they lost in 7 against the Giants, but that was a great series.
You said the Royals?
Yeah, the Royals lost the
I thought they won. They only won the World Series once. They won twice?
They went twice in a row. They lost to the Giants and then beat the Mets in 5.
I forgot it, I guess.
Yeah.
I didn't realize they went twice. Wow. And then Alex Gordon just retired, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
He was part of that core.
Yeah, he lasted there his entire career. He was like their main prospect.
He was this close to go to the Yankees, and then he preferred to stay home. They got those championships, so they got some money. They paid him, and then he stayed.
Yeah.
Hey, so who do you guys like? Who do you guys like? For the World Series? I know we're Marlins fans, but it's gonna be the Dodgers and who else?
I think
I like the Rays.
The Dodgers and the Rays.
Dodgers and the Rays. Yeah. Look at this. It was 101, that contact by Aguilar. It was just straight to the shortstop.
Yeah, I mean, Kimbrough made a good pitch, and Aguilar unfortunately hit it right to somebody, and then Brian Anderson strikes out.
Again.
They, I guess having 2 on with nobody out is not the formula for this team to score any runs.
We gotta drop the bunt. But anyways, we're winning. Fuck it. Sorry, I didn't mean to say it. I'm just happy. I'm really happy right now. You have no idea.
Okay, we'll see if Blyer stays for another couple of outs, or what Mattingly's going to do with his bullpen.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what he does, because again, he has Rizzo, Contreras, and Schwarber coming up. So left, right, left.
Yeah, you could leave Blyer for.
You could leave him for Rizzo for sure, and then I would go with Yimmy at that point. But
yeah, for sure.
I mean, David Ross has it's basically left, right all through this stretch. Rizzo's a lefty, Contreras is a righty, Schwarber's a lefty, Chris Bryant is a righty, Hayward is a lefty, Baez is a righty. So it's just kind of alternating. I mean, not that. Again, the Marlins don't have a lot of lefty relievers. Blyer is the only dependable one. Tarpley is in there, but again, I can't imagine Mattingly putting Tarpley in a high leverage situation. So it's either going to be Blyer to face Rizzo, or it's going to be Yimmy, right from the start. And, hopefully, Blyer didn't get hurt by that comebacker. He didn't seem to be hurt when he was coming off, but hopefully that's
Guys,
So Jimmy
I
Garcia.
want
That's
to be here. I have to go, but
where?
like I didn't know it was gonna be on for the full game, so like I had things to do, man. I have to clean around the house and stuff, which is crazy. It's crazy. It doesn't make sense. It's like I'm gonna be listening. I don't know what to do. I don't know. I want to stay. I want to stay because I mean this is monumental moment in time. Screw it. I'm staying.
There we go.
You can
We're
fix
a great team right now. We haven't lost yet.
You can fix the rest later.
Yeah,
so
it's
Jimmy
early.
Garcia.
It's not a night game. You can clean after.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
It's Jimmy Garcia coming in for the Marlins. So this is his second postseason work this year, but he has some other experiences throughout the postseason. Once in 2015 with the Dodgers, he threw 1 inning and struck out the side. And on the first game, he also pitched an inning and struck out 2 of the hitters that he faced. So Jimmy Garcia is in. So he went with the plan. He stuck to the plan, and that's it. Jimmy Garcia in the 8th.
Listen, Yimmy's been great this year. I mean, he has a 0.60 ERA. I mean, he only gave up a run in 1 outing. He was in one of the 11 games that he pitched. So he was really, really, really good. He had opponents are only hitting 164 off him this year. His WHIP was 0.93. I'm telling you, he was great. He could be the closer of the future, because Kinsler's a little older. But he's been awesome. He's been awesome.
Yeah, let's hope it continues. I was just thinking our outfield is pretty interesting right now. Very athletic with Monte, Sierra, and Brinson. Yeah. That's gotta love it. Oh, don't bloop in. Don't land. Nice.
Brian Anderson with the shift. I mean, he started on the second base side of the bag because of the shift, and he was able to secure that pop up. I mean, it's looks like they flip flopped Harrison and Sierra, so Harrison's in center.
Okay, Henderson's center. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, there's a ton of speed out there. They're going to be able to track down balls.
Yeah. Harrison covers a lot of ground.
Yeah, they'll be able to cut them off so that they don't get into the alleys and things like that. So
it's just got to keep the ball in the park.
Yeah. No, that's it. Don't walk anybody. Keep the ball in the park. That's the key here moving forward.
Yeah, we got our defense in. Woo.
Yeah. Contreras is he's gotten on base a couple times.
Oh, he got hit.
Again, look, you see how he stuck his elbow out?
He got called for that.
Yeah, good.
Oh, it didn't count.
Yeah, because he stuck his elbow out.
Ross is pissed.
Yeah, no, but I that's what happened the last time too.
Yeah.
He turned into Sixto's pitch.
Yeah,
he absolutely
it's a desperate move. They called it. Hold on, let's see. Well, it is close. Yeah, no.
Oh, he's sticking it
too
out.
Too comfortable doing it. I love it.
I haven't watched it, so I have nothing.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with it.
And now we're gonna strike his ass out. He should get thrown out for it, but we'll be nice and let him back.
That's a little excessive, but yes.
That's one of the rare do-overs in baseball. It's not a strike. It's not a ball.
Wow. I remember Jeter did that one time.
Well, you know what? I got when I was in college. Every experience that I had it was fun in college. I did something like this, but the pitch landed closer to the strike zone, I guess. So I got called out. So I got hit, and then I don't know if that's the rule. I don't actually know, but. That's what
you swung and
no, I did the same thing, but the pitch was closer to the strike zone. So
what the heck? He just threw in again and hit him. Wow, Yimmy.
Yeah, Yimmy, he got in his head a little bit.
I don't know if you want to get a guy on base.
Contreras is barking away over there.
Hey, Garcia though, he's got a pretty strong personality, but he went in on purpose. That's the same exact play.
No, I think that's the first one. I think that was the first one, and then that was the second one. I mean, he's not trying to get out of the way of it, which is, which I would imagine is frustrating for the pitcher. But
meanwhile, Wallach is fucking up like he's gonna do something. That's pretty cool. All right, let's turn 2.
Yep. Yimmy's got to focus here. I don't like the fact that there's so many little extracurricular activities. Barking back and forth and then giving up. I mean, this is exactly what you don't want. You don't want to give the Cubs life. You don't want to give them extra runners. You don't want to give them anything,
Right. Yeah, and you also don't want Schwarber at bat.
Yeah, he's been good. 11 home runs this year. So
yep, and he's got postseason experience. But we like our pitcher right now. He's only thrown 8 pitches so far. So whatever.
Yeah, but he's all over the place. He has not found the strike zone, so he needs to find it quick. I mean, if I'm Mattingly, I'm warming up Brandon Kinsler already.
Okay.
I mean, against the Yankees, Kinsler went and got 6 outs.
Automatic.
You gotta hope that Yimmy can work through this.
Yeah, this was his last batter if Schwarber gets on.
Yeah, it's a tough spot for sure. But he's kind of created this mess on his own here a little bit.
He did. His ego.
Yeah, I mean, whatever Contreras said to him, it got in his head.
Yeah.
Good to see him get back into the zone with that one. He's got to be careful here, though, because Schwarber can turn on one.
That 2-0 pitch was down the middle, man.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. He's got to be careful here.
Oh, my God. Look at that.
Oh.
3 pitch. That was
Defense.
And then
Yes.
it's an out.
Good job. Monte tracks it down.
Can you feel it? I love it. I love when the pitcher gets the beat on his chest.
Yeah.
Let's get out of this inning. And if the Cubs lose this game, Rizzo had an opportunity with guys on. You have Bryant right now, who's paid handsomely, and not jinxing him, but he's supposed to do something for your team.
Yeah. I mean, he's not starting this at bat much better. 0-2, 0-3. Well, 0-2, I guess. I mean, 2-0. Sorry.
Yeah, we know what you mean.
0 for 7 in the series is Bryant. All right, here you got the strike.
Listen, Bryant wasn't very good this year. He hit only 206 going into this season.
Yeah, I haven't fantasy.
You
know who has been pretty crazy now that we're winning? Adam Duvall, man, with the Braves.
Yeah.
I hope he calms down because he was lights out. That's another guy.
He was a Marlins killer this year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
out of the
Very nice. 3 outs. Let's go.
3 outs to go, and the Marlins are 3 outs away from sweeping the Cubs at Wrigley Field. That's all.
Oh, Contreras is still yelling at him. Contreras and
Yeah,
Garcia.
well, Garcia got one-upped him. He got hit and out of the inning. Let's go. And he gets to take a shower right now.
I mean, that's got to be frustrating as a pitcher, like to have hitters with like basically body armor on their arms, and so they're not worried about getting hit at all, and so they're on top of the plate and all that stuff. It's got to be.
They should be able to watch or to ask for a replay in these type of situations, because it was. I mean, the first one was plain clear that it was him leaning in. The second one was borderline, but the umpire should have been able to see the play and make a call by watching the actual play, because it's hard for an umpire to see it so fast. It happens so fast behind the play that it's really it's really hard for them to watch and say something about it. So it's gonna be Jeremy Jeffries in the 9th for the Cubs, and he's gonna face Gary Cooper to start the 9th. We have to remember Jeremy Jeffries came in the first game, and then he gave up a homer by Jesus Aguilar. So this is the second time we see him this series.
Whew.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Aguilar got a hold of him the last time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, this guy wasn't too impressive. Not worried about him, but we don't even care. We're just
he was their best reliever, but I mean, he's just here to make sure that the Marlins don't extend their lead any. I mean,
whew. So a win for sure, and Mattingly is manager of the year.
Listen. Even God forbid there's an epic collapse here, Mattingly deserves manager of the year.
Yeah, being up.
Yeah, nobody had to deal with what he had to deal with. I mean, you're talking about a manager who lost more than half of his opening day roster, a couple days into the season, right? And then on top of that, they have to turn over, the roster. They have to turn over the pitching staff, turn over the bullpen. I mean, 21 rookies on this team at one point, 18 major league debuts. I mean, he's rolling out pitchers who had never started a game above Double-A. What he did this year was incredible, and the fact that he was able to not only keep the ship afloat and running. He was able to teach. Right, he's helping these kids. He's working with Luan Diaz on the infield at first base. I mean. He's been incredible, and his like even keel demeanor was really, really important. He doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low. He's always focused on the right things. He's absolutely manager of the year, and if somebody else it's robbery.
Yeah, and because he had a pretty successful MLB career, and also he had a pretty successful time with the Dodgers as a manager, I feel like a lot of players have to respect him, and they have to respect Derek Jeter, and they go about the game a little bit differently because these guys have had success. And if you want to have success in Major League Baseball, why not listen to somebody that's had it, themselves? So, like Coach Spo, for instance, is never had pro experience, but he's a different example. The reason I bring it up though is in baseball, like if you don't respect your manager, you're gonna do whatever you want, And you're not going to have that much success unless you have a lot of.
And you're not going to bunt whenever they tell you.
Yeah, exactly.
You know why I hate bunting so much? Because I used to my manager at college was a bunt freak, I guess. So we would get on first inning, second inning, third inning, and we were bunting all the time. We're like, no, and we didn't have such a great pitching staff either. So it was like, we're just giving outs away early in the game.
Yeah, that's tough. When your pitching staff is bad, you probably don't bunt. You got to play for the inning.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, it's what
funny.
It is. So
so Cooper, I know he's batting right now, but he posted a picture of himself on his Instagram like before game 1 of the season, and I commented like a stat line. I put 287, 30 home runs, 80 RBI, something like that. I'm like, this is gonna be your season, and he liked it, right? And his brother liked it too, so it's pretty cool. And then the COVID thing happened to him like a couple of games later. I felt so bad for him, but hey, what a rebound, right?
Yeah. No,
he never gave up.
He had a great season. I mean, obviously he missed an extended amount of time, but he became one of the more reliable hitters in this lineup, right? I mean, he ended up with 6 home runs and 20 RBIs in 120 at bats. So he was productive. He hit 283. He had a 500. Yeah.
Hey, anybody hitting 280, I'll take that all day.
Yeah, and he's pretty good defensively over there at first base. He's not like a scrub. He's not,
Right.
So he's a good player, and he's proven to be part of this core moving forward.
Definitely. Especially at this, and you brought up Harold Ramirez. Man, I know he would have probably been traded if he was healthy or so, but they didn't trade him. I don't think there's any room for him, but his bat could definitely be used right now. Like, we could certainly use that guy.
Yeah, he was a reliable bat last year for sure, and you hope that he's able to bounce back from his injury, But again, that outfield's it's getting really crowded. When you start to think about the young guys, and then you think about some of the other guys like in the minors that are coming up, obviously trading for Marte, and Marte's under contract for another year, so he's not going anywhere. Dickerson is under contract for another year. He's probably not going anywhere. So 2 years from now, the outfield opens up a little bit. So, but Harold Ramirez, he could be, a fourth outfielder. He could be somebody that regularly plays in right, but they have that flexibility. So it's going to be really interesting to see what they do in the off season in terms of upgrading the offense, because for as great as this season has been, I think it's pretty clear that the offense needs a little bit of an upgrade in a few different spots.
Yeah, well, Jazz is supposed to be one of those guys offensively. He's supposed to be a liftoff guy, and I guess he'll play second base because I don't see Miggy getting kicked out.
No, Miggy's not going to go anywhere, not for a while. Maybe Jazz eventually moves over to shortstop, like down the line. But yeah, one of those guys, it either has to come internally with one of those young guys like popping off, or they have to go find another bat, because I think this lineup probably needs another bat.
Oh,
yeah,
for
they
sure.
need more power from the outfielders, for sure.
Yeah. Remember that team that the infield that everybody hit like over 25 home runs or so? Man,
Mike Jacobs, Dan Ugla, Hanley
Cantu.
Ramirez, Jorge Cantu.
Man.
Yeah, they I think, what is it? They all hit 30 except for Cantu, right? Cantu hit like 29, I think. And he had a chance to get it at the end of the year. I mean, that was an infield that was just mashing. I loved Dan Ugla. Like he would hit bombs. I mean, he couldn't do anything else. It was either a bomb or a strikeout. But
he was a hitter of this age. He was just ahead of us.
Yeah, I mean,
Same with Mike Jacobs though. He was home run or not. He was that
whole stretch of Marlins history was all or nothing.
Right.
They were that was the 3-run home run Marlins. That's how they played. It wasn't like this group that plays small ball.
Oh, nice. Oh, wow. Good defensive play. That was a nice hit. All right, here we go, guys.
All right, 9th inning.
We're going to do this together.
Has been robbed a couple times.
Yeah, that was a nice good exit velocity.
Yeah. So this is it, folks. I mean, 9th inning. You got to get 3 outs. He's got Jason Hayward, Javi Baez, and David Bodie. I'm not sure. But I mean, Marlins could be advancing to the NLDS for the first time in 17 years. They will be, if they win here today, they will be facing the Atlanta Braves, a team that we are very familiar with, right?
Yep.
And
had not had too much success with, but
right.
Postseason Marlins is a different Marlin.
It's a different Marlins. That's right.
These guys coming up. Brandon Kinsler. We got it right here. These are his stats. He has 1 game pitched. He closed that last game. He didn't get a save because the advantage was 4 runs, but he's coming again for this game too. Now with save opportunities, so hopefully he gets those 3 outs real quick. He does have experience in the playoffs in the past. He was with the Nationals in 2017, 3 innings, a couple of runs. He lost 1 game, and here tonight he can save this game and get the Marlins to the National League Division Series against the division rivals, the Atlanta Braves.
Yep. I mean, it's an exciting time to be a Marlins fan. That is for sure. You know, there's and listen, I mean, I know that the Braves controlled some things against the Marlins this year, you know, but it's not like the Marlins just rolled. I mean, there was the 29-9 game, right, which is the one that everybody remembers. But what people forget is the Marlins won that series. They took 2 out of 3 in Atlanta.
Yep.
You know, they were 4-6 against them this year. So
Okay.
you
That's not that bad. I thought it was worse. Not bad.
No, they were right there. I mean,
Yeah.
Some of those games were close. We're down to the wire. You know, so
It's just this Cubs team is just so underwhelming.
I'm super annoyed right now that that ABC has broken in with a breaking news coverage about the president going for treatment for
Is that
COVID.
happening right now?
Like they went away from the baseball game. I can't.
I have it. I have it. Luckily.
Yeah, I was listening to the report. They're saying that Trump is taking some sort of a precautionary measure, taking some sort of cocktail, but we want to watch the game. So,
Yeah, I mean the inning has already started.
yes, 9th inning, it's 1-1. And, well, guys, I guess this is historic moment, and we're going to miss it. Hopefully, our friend George Jankopoulos can finish his report fast, and we can come back to the game.
Yeah, I mean, looks like we're watching the gameplay app at this point.
It's all right. It's all right. It's Hayward's up. He's
Hey,
got a
that's what
1-1.
happens. That's what happens when you put a baseball game on a channel's news channel.
Yeah, Hayward doubles to start.
Yikes. Yikes. Okay. All right.
I mean, Kinsler normally, you know, he
gets guys on. You know?
Yeah, he does get guys on, but he typically likes to use you know, he likes to use the double play ball. So Hayward getting a double kind of obviously takes that out of the equation.
Well, yeah, and you don't walk this guy coming up either.
No, but you're also worried about Javi Baez because Javi Baez in the past has
Yeah,
has gotten
he was an MVP candidate, but if not last year, I think a year ago. But he's got some special abilities. He would be the best hitter on the Marlins if we had him.
Our friend Stephen Wall says the game is on ESPN website. Let me try that. I think you have to have the.
See if I can switch over to that too.
Dan Kinsler is throwing weird right now. He's doing off real bad.
Okay, yeah, I've got it on the ESPN app now. Looks like there was a good piece of hitting by Hayward to go the other way.
Oh,
Baez is also having only batting 203. Okay, we'll get the strike. Let's go Marlins. Let's go Marlins. Wow, that was a ball.
Yep.
And this the bottom feeders, baby.
Yeah. Wow, the ESPN app is way behind the gameplay that we have on the screen. I just saw the first ball to Javi Baez.
Damn. Well, now I'm about to watch the second strike. So
I'm streaming it. If you can do MLB stream, Reddit, and then you click on the game, and then you could find an easy streamable link if you put in Google MLB stream. Oh, Baez swings and gets hit by the ball in the leg.
But it swung, so.
Wow, that is unique. I don't think I've seen that recently. Oh, that's how Yelich got injured, right in the calf. Yeah, he's not going to be strong in the box. This at bat, next pitch, he's walking it off. I like that. Now Baez should drop the bunt. I'm kidding.
I agree completely, 100%. Ooh, nice. He got him.
Nice.
Got him
looking. Two more, buddy.
How do you guys know that?
I switched over. The game switched over to ESPN.
Okay.
So
I'm looking at the screen of our thing. It shows it ahead of time too.
It was a perfect pitch.
yeah,
Late movement in the outside corner. Awesome.
great pitch.
Great
Now
pitch.
it's David Bodie and then a pinch hitter. So
Here we go, Marlins. Dun, 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 dun. Here we go, Marlins. Dun, 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 dun. Marlins. So Kinsler is doing a very non-aggressive. He wants the hitters to kind of chase, and I guess that's the strategy.
yeah,
He's getting off the plate.
he tries to stay low in the zone and stuff like that, you know. So let's see. I mean,
Oh, he's in. All right. Woo. Woo. Oh, ball 3 in. Okay. Now the screen has it faster. So you got 2 balls now.
Damn, that fastball, it's just moving so much, right?
yeah, it's got some serious movement to it.
Dang.
I mean, at least
Let me see how
Kinsler-
they divide those pitches. Those are fast.
So the next pitch is a strike. So
Kinsler's
yeah. Called strike. Nice.
2-2.
Great pitch too. Who do they have on deck? It looks like Vargas.
Oh,
No.
Kipnis.
It's Kipnis.
You said Bartman?
Bartman. Yeah. Let's go. Get him a jersey.
Oh, substitution.
Struck
Okay.
him out looking.
Oh,
There you go.
God. Yes. Oh my God, guys. Oh, one more. Hey, screw Kipnis.
I mean, Chad Wallach did a great job of framing that, but that ball is right on the edge.
It's
Right, it catches just enough.
let me see. We have it right
Wow.
here. Let me see if I
Wow.
can put it on the screen so you guys get to see. It was one of those orange dots right there.
Yeah, it's the one that's literally on the line.
If you're Alfaro, you got to be so pissed.
This
Just
is
watching this
Javi Baez. David
Here we go,
Bowie.
guys. Here we go.
Yeah. Kipnis.
Strike.
Yep.
Ryan, you have to call the last play because you're gonna be online. So you better get ready.
All right.
Whoever's first has to call the last play.
Whoever way.
Whoever has it first. I don't know who.
All right. All right. Definitely. I'm not going to let it sit. Yeah.
Way up. So 1-1 count. I mean,
Well, it seems like that Gamecast is getting it all earlier. Get rid of the Gamecast. Turn that off.
The game is gonna catch it.
Yeah. Yes. I'm actually filming it from my phone on my laptop just to see what I can get here.
Okay.
This is pretty exciting stuff,
I mean,
guys.
look that the whole team is up on the step of the dugout. I mean,
Yep.
they're right there waiting.
No rally hats needed for this one.
Well, this is my rally hat right here.
I like
That's
it.
right.
It's beautiful.
Every time I turn it forward, we start putting runners on base. And listen, our guys pitched the hell out of this series. It's just impressive.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
He's still
Blanking a playoff team is not normal. You don't do that.
I mean, Kinsler
What's
still
happening? What's happening? Let me know.
He's got
Did
a
you
couple.
see they had the bottom feeder shirt? They have it
They have it off to the side
taped
there.
up. They had it taped up.
Yeah, some of them were wearing it. I think Mickey Rowe might have been wearing it before. It's too bad Five Reasons to jump on the bottom feeders shirt, but
I know. I told them, but they wanted to promote the other ones that were.
Yeah. Catch the cure.
So whatever.
here we go. This is 2
Here
and
we go,
2.
2-2.
Meeting on the mound.
Even Don Mattingly's drinking his water. Oh,
I mean,
boy.
he's big pitch right here. Big pitch.
Here we go. Marlins history, right here.
I mean, Kipnis, he has some pop in his bat. He can get a hold of one.
And he was good with the Indians, but this is not the same Kipnis.
Look at the Marlins open today. 1 hit, 2 strikeouts in 3.3 innings and a third.
He fouled it off.
Yeah, he fought it off. He did hit 3 homers this year. But
He used to be a really good hitter. He's just not the same guy.
yeah,
All right, here we go. 2-2.
pitch here. Nice.
What happened? Let us know what happened.
Strikeout. There we go.
Yes!
Moving on. Advancing to the
Did it,
NLCS.
We did it. It took the 3 of us.
Yeah,
Hey,
man.
Let's go. Everybody's doing the fish.
Spectacular.
Bring on the Braves. Bring on the Braves.
I mean, the huge home run by Garrett Cooper. Spectacular. And the pitching staff, like you guys were saying, pitching staff was lights out. Sandy was amazing in game 1. Sixto was incredible here in game 2. The bullpen came to work. I mean, Yimi Garcia throwing heaters at people. It was spectacular. I mean, why not? Why not us, right? The same refrain that they've been saying all season long.
And I love it too. It's in Wrigley Field.
Yeah. Marlins
All right.
Wrigley.
All right, let's do our post-game show here. It's going to start right now. So the Marlins are advancing to the National League Division Series. They just swept the Marlins, the Cubs. The Marlins just swept the Cubs at Wrigley Field. I'm so excited I can't even talk. And we said it before. They don't come to the playoffs just to get to the playoffs. They like winning series. They have a good record at Wrigley Field. They always advance to the next series when they get to the postseason. And this particular series, it was about pitching, right? The starting pitcher was just great. They just allowed 1 run, and it was a home run. So it was the Cubs had a couple of runners in 5 innings throughout the series, throughout the 2 games, and that was it. That this is very exciting for the Marlins and especially for what they're building towards the future. But right now, why not? I mean, they're already in the division series, so go ahead and do your analysis.
Yeah, and listen, like you said, this was spectacular, right? There couldn't be anything more than we could have asked for as Marlins fans going into historic Wrigley Field, a place where the Marlins have had success in the past. I mean, some of the greatest moments in Marlins history have happened right there in that place, right? and they were able to do it again. They were able to go in there and sweep the Cubs. I mean, most people thought the Cubs were going to sweep the Marlins, right? Nobody believed in the Marlins moving into this series, but you know, the Marlins knew what they had. The players believed. The front office believed. They've talked about why not us all season long. And the reason the Marlins were able to win this series was their pitching matched up against the more heralded pitching staff, right? Most people were like, oh my God, Kyle Hendricks and Yu Darvish, forget it. The Marlins don't have a chance. Well, the Marlins put Sandy Alcantara out there. He put Sixto Sanchez out there, and they were just as good as Kyle Hendricks and Yu Darvish. I mean, Sandy was better than Kyle Hendricks, and Sixto did enough, right? Darvish was great today, but the Marlins offense had the timely hits. I mean, it's just spectacular. Ryan, what do you think, man?
Pretty much you covered it, David. But I mean, congrats to Marlins Nation. Congrats to like the 1,000 fans that we apparently have. No, this is a huge win for the city of Miami. I mean, we needed this win. We were there. We go to the playoffs. We continue success. On to the Braves. I'm not worried about the Braves. Right now, we're focused on this win, this W. We can celebrate, and then we have a Heat game tonight. But regardless, big ups to Sandy, Sixto for really shutting down the Cubs offense. Cubs offense was abysmal. David Ross, you got out-coached or out-managed, whatever the case is. And, and we didn't even have to retaliate on you hurting Marte. So we're just going to continue and move on. So thank you so much, Cubs, for playing.
Yeah, that will be next year, maybe, if that happens. And Contreras is my first candidate, right? After what happened with the 2 hit by pitches. So we have to talk about this. This team was, in the beginning of the season, they lost so many players. They somehow found a way to win series, win doubleheaders, stay in the playoff run. They were falling off. They lost that series against the Braves. They lost against the Nationals, against the Red Sox, and we thought, you know what, maybe this team doesn't have enough to make it to the playoffs and to actually make a playoff run. And now they just advanced to the National League Division Series. They're going to face the Braves, of course. But talking about that, this team came from playing a bunch of no names for us, at least. Probably in MLB, they knew who they were. But for us here in Miami, we just didn't know 10 or 15 players that came up at that point, and now they're going and they advance in the playoffs a little farther than a lot of people thought.
No, I mean, definitely farther than anybody thought. Like nobody picked the Marlins to get into this position at all. The Marlins were viewed as a team that was going to lose, 40 games this season. I think the over-under in Vegas was like 24 wins, right? And the fact that, the baseball pundits, the reporters, the major outlets, they all picked the Marlins to be in last place, right? I mean, the bottom feeders label comes from somewhere, right? Everybody expected the Marlins to be in last place again. But the fact that this club came together, they showed the resiliency that they've had all season long. It's a credit to them, the players, the coaches, the front office. The fact that they were able to rally around each other and then push forward and not only secure a playoff berth, but to win a series. I mean, the Marlins are now 7-1 in elimination games in franchise history, with the only loss coming in Game 6 of the World Series in 1997. We all know what happened in 97 in Game 7, right? The Marlins have never lost a postseason series now. They are now 7-0 in postseason series, and they're moving on to play a club that everybody's going to underestimate them again. Everybody's going to pick the Braves. Everybody's going to pick the Braves in 3, the Braves in 4. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Marlins can win this series against the Braves moving forward, because the reality is the Marlins pitching staff is stronger than Atlanta's pitching staff. Yeah. Yes, Atlanta has the better lineup, 100%. Okay, but the Marlins pitching staff is right now stronger than Atlanta's pitching staff. They don't have 3 guys the way that the Marlins have. They don't have a Sandy, and a Sixto, and a Pablo. They don't have that. They have Max Fried. That's it, right?
Yeah, and maybe Anderson, who pitched the second game. I mean, he's a prospect. He's a young arm. He's gonna be there in the long run. But I would put him at the same level as maybe a little behind Pablo in that progress. But it's definitely a better rotation for the Marlins. We know how good of a lineup Atlanta has, and that has been the problem for the Marlins, to keep that lineup from scoring a lot of runs, which is what they are capable of. I mean, the Marlins did beat them in some series during this season. Of course, if you go to run differential, Atlanta just blew us off. But if you go to actual games, the series wasn't that far away. So it's been a kind of an even series throughout the year, and now it's a better a series of whoever gets 3 wins advances to the National League Championship.
Listen, you make a great point about the run differential, right? But then you got to remember, one of those games was a 20-run win for the Braves. So the Marlins were minus 24 against Atlanta in 10 games this season. You take out that one game, and it's minus 4. What does that tell you? In 9 games, they were minus 4. That means they're right there with the Braves. I mean, they won 4 out of the 10, so they were 4-6 against Atlanta this year. When they played them down here, they won 9-4 in the first game, lost 9-5, and lost 9-6 in the next 2. So I mean, there was plenty of offense in that first series when they matched up, and then in early September, the Marlins took 2 out of 3 in. The Marlins took 2 out of 3. Sorry, they won 8-2, lost 2-1, and lost 4-0 in their first series. In Atlanta, they won 5-4, won 8-0, and then lost 29-9. So, they've been right there the entire time. This last series, the last run through Atlanta, again, there was a 1-run game in there, a 5-4 loss, and then a 10-run loss in there, 11-1. And then a 9-4 loss and a 4-2 win. So there were some lopsided games in there. But if you think about those games, the 20-9 game, Pablo Lopez runs into trouble. It was, I think, in the second or third inning. I think it was in the second inning. He runs into trouble. There was a bang play at third base, and it seemed pretty clear that Acuna was out, or the base runner, I think it was Acuna, was out, and then the call wasn't overturned. If he gets that out there, they're out of the inning completely, and the floodgates don't open for Atlanta, right? And then if you look at the pitching staff, it's a very different pitching staff, right? Look at the guys that Mattingly used out of the bullpen in this series. Blyer, Boxberger, Yimi Garcia, Brandon Kinsler.
Yeah, and James Hoyt was there too.
Right, and James Hoyt was available. Those guys, unless it was a close game, they weren't coming in versus the Braves. So Jordan Yamamoto gives up 12 runs. He's not on the roster, right? Yeah. I mean, there were so many of the other sort of also ran bullpen arms that came through that gave up a ton of runs that are not going to get on the field in this series. So you look at the numbers, and it seems tilted toward the Braves, but a closer look at the numbers shows you that the Marlins were actually a lot closer to the Braves than what some people are willing to admit.
Right. So let's close it out here saying thank you to our friend Alex Chavez. He says, congratulations, Marlins pitching. Pitching is the real deal. If the Marlins pitching just stay consistent and the Marlins get more aggressive on the bases and small ball, they will beat Atlanta. Marlins will be a threat going forward. They just proved they can hit good pitching, and they hit it enough. I mean, it wasn't a very explosive offense by the Marlins at all, but it was enough, and it was a great pitching performance by both the starters, Sandy Alcantara, Sixto Sanchez, and all the relievers that you just mentioned. We're going to close it out here because at 6 we have a little pre-game pod that is going to be playing here on 5 Reasons. But thank you very much for being here with us for almost 4 hours in this game and enjoying this live commentary along with Ryan Lesnar, David Fernandez, and our friend Christian Chase, who I don't know if he's in his dorm already. I don't know if he's underage or not, but don't drink yet. Wait until you're 21. And you Marlins fans, let's go celebrate. The Marlins will be playing again on Tuesday. They will be playing at Minute Maid Park, so watch out for the trash cans there. And we'll be back with you guys on Tuesday to keep enjoying this playoff run here on 5 Reasons. So thank you very much. Remember to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and we'll be back soon with more content tonight. Of course, right now at 6 p.m. is going to start our pod, like I said, and then around 8ish, our pregame for the Miami Heat second game of the finals. Remember, we don't have Bam Adebayo tonight, so there's going to be probably a discussion of who's starting over Bam in that position. Thank you very much, and see you later here in 5 Reasons.